to the show, this is gonna be great. It's PKA 178. Lefty's on the mic, some say he's a racist. He told me himself, let's get back to the basics. Black, Asian, or crazy gypsy. He kills them quickly, then chugs down his whiskey. Next is a man known as FPS Kyle. The stuff he says can be downright vile. Unicorns, dildos, and lots of guns. Look out for bathrooms when he has the runs. Finally, it's me, WoodysGamertag. I'm fucking awesome, but I don't like to brag. He's a pedo, my haters will expound. Sorry, haters, the body's never found. Topics are sterling and mass genocide. The boys will share it all, and we will misguide. Our opinions are silly, our stats are invented. Our stories are crazy, our thoughts are demented. Hold on tight and get yourself ready. The gang's all here, this is Painkiller already.
Oh, yeah! I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm not worthy. We're not worthy.
Very nice.
We're not worthy.
I had no idea what this was going to become when I was like, let's do a cool do some cool intros. This has turned out really well.
Oh, you should hear it with the music. I think it's 10 times better. You guys don't know, but my co-host can't hear the music like you can.
I'm definitely gonna watch this as soon as it comes out. We were talking about it earlier. I don't always watch every show because I was here for the I was here for the whole thing.
Why?
No, it's because the YouTube comments are a cesspool. It's because they're a cesspool. Yeah, just admit it.
That's what it's because. Like I really wish people on YouTube were like people on Reddit. I wish there was some sort of comment voting system that actually worked instead of just some comment with like 150 thumbs up but nobody's up or downing the random comments that are just like, I don't know, your hair looked funny, and you're like, wait, we just did 3 hours of like carefully calculated subjects here, and you're concerned about his hair.
My hair's always on point. I don't know what you jokers are talking about. Spent hours on this shit.
My hair's
so that was a very good intro. I like that a lot.
Woody, that was amazing. I loved it. Even without the music, I am besides myself. Very good job.
Yeah, very good.
Well, thank you. We have a sponsor. I am completely...
we're woefully unprepared for this.
Yeah, right?
But I'm sure they're great.
They're probably amazing. The best sponsor we've ever had.
Let's say some things about the sponsor before we find out who they are.
All right.
I think that, I don't know, when I watch his work, I just think, like, here's a guy who, you know, he hasn't been doing this so long.
You're so wrong.
All right.
They've got their eye on the ball. They're ahead of the game. They're revitalizing their industry. They've got they're on the cutting edge of their respective area of work, and looking forward to big things from them now and in the future. It's a person or people to watch for the coming calendar year. I'd keep my eye on them.
So, that was outstanding. That was really good. So this week's sponsor, it's a quarter show sponsor, and they made a game. It's free, it's simplistic, it's hard to play, and it's addicting. There'll be a link in the description. It's an iTunes link. I don't have anything for Android, but
they say they're working on it right now. Android.
Yeah.
Commits.
Oh, that's right. They're working on the
Android
Android game.
Android. It costs more.
It
All
does.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dropman. So go check it out on the iTunes Store, and Android coming soon.
There it is.
So, Kyle, why is it harder to make things for Android?
I don't know. I have been directly involved with some of those projects, and they always do the iPhone first because it's cheaper to do or easier to do. One or the other.
I might be out of date. It used to be that Android was tough because the devices were different. Like, they had different resolutions. They had just a lot of different... Like, with a non-standard platform, it was harder to code for all the alternatives. But they may have worked that out by now. That was something I read years ago.
I see.
So where do we want to go with this first? My vote is for some civilization talk because I'm so into that it's like coming out of my ears right now.
I would have voted for Sterling, but I'm open to Civ V talk.
Sterling?
Yeah, the Clippers owner.
Oh yes. What's his name? Donald Sterling? Is
Donald
that it?
Sterling, yes.
All right, I have an idea.
Hmm.
I'll flip a coin, and you can choose it.
I like this.
Actually, I don't have a coin. All I have is a money clip. Would you like me to flip a money clip?
Shit, I don't have a coin either. Damn.
I've got a small pile here. Let me...
All right. Well, wait, you're not on camera.
Shit.
That's
That's what we got to bring back too. We got to bring back Kyle's junk drawer and just start doing giveaways and bullshit.
No, fuck those people. They don't get any of my junk. I'm not happy with the PKA subreddit. They were douchey after the first show. They upset me. I haven't been back since.
really.
Yeah, I'm taking some time off.
After which show?
After the first show without
After the first show without
wings.
wings on.
Okay.
I felt like they did not react appropriately. We don't, because it was one show. We're changing things up, and I didn't like it.
That's fine. You're putting them in timeout, I guess. They probably won't like that.
No, I don't care.
Woody will somehow get shit for it.
I won't hear anything about it.
I'm not.
I took your place. I showed up on Reddit and I took your place.
You know, I thought about
You got Lefty now.
the times like that I've gotten crap, and 9 times out of 10, if I'm getting fussed at, it's because I'm fussing about getting fussed at, and I'm just like, Woody, you idiot, just shut up about the fussing. Let it go. Yeah, are YouTube comments a cesspool of hate? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Don't say a word. So here's me not saying a word. Not very well, I guess, but yeah, I'm just not gonna.
Well, you just said a bunch of words to say that you're not saying a word.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't fussing
I call
about being
bullshit.
fussed at. I
call bullshit.
I wasn't fussing about not being fussed at. I was saying my new attitude is to stop responding. I will do that the best I can.
So Donald Sterling.
Oh, is he the one? He's topic
He's
number
the
one.
one we should go to. Yeah, since
All
we
right.
specifically failed at flipping coins, so let's go to Donald Sterling.
I was gonna flip money clips. I thought it'd be funny.
This is the lowest effort Jackie trip I've ever seen. Wow. Tell her I say she's really slipping.
Would you like to hear, Jared? Would you want to talk to Jackie?
Why?
Here you
She
go,
is
baby.
really slipping.
Wait. I have food, but I need to eat, so
How is she slipping? What'd she bring him? I didn't see.
what?
I just
You have
wanted
to get
to
close
say.
to me.
So I just wanted to say that normally 99% of the time I'm always very impressed. I imagine that Jackie is like the perfect wife. She handles her side of the marriage like a professional. However, today you showed up with some fast food, really. Woody's going into the battlefield of Painkiller already right now, and you're sitting him fueled up on like Burger King or Wendy's or something.
Really?
He needs some steak and potatoes and some love.
I've had all those things the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with any of this.
For sure.
I can't believe he just said that to me.
I can't believe you laughed at the love part. That's why my hair's messed up.
Hurt, Kyle.
I'm
I
just
can't believe he did
saying.
that. I thought,
You know that
you were a
moment where
nice
you
guy.
You know that moment where you realize your parents had to have sex to have you? I just had that moment with Woody.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember.
I was the stork brought me. I can't believe Kyle just
Yeah.
did that to me.
I'm
You're
sorry, I had
wounded,
to call
right?
you out because normally you come in with like a plate of delicious food, and I'm like, wow, that looks good. I just ate some fast food myself, but I hold you to a higher standard than everyone else though. So I'm embarrassed.
I am so hurt. I don't know
You should
if
be.
anybody write your comments that Kyle just broke my heart.
Yeah, that's not good.
Just saying.
You just have to try harder
Lefty's
next
my
time.
new favorite. Now it's Uncle Lefty. Kyle, you're dead to me.
Kyle doesn't have wheelchair access. Lefty will never take my place.
She left.
I'd crawl my way to Jackie. That's what I'd do.
So Donald Sterling.
Yes. I'm sorry. My money's not in order.
So he is the owner of the LA Clippers, a professional basketball team in the NBA, and his girlfriend recorded him a conversation that they had that was basically he was unhappy that she had posted pictures of herself with black people on Instagram. She herself is half Hispanic and half black. And the mixture comes out really nice. Just
Yeah,
so you know.
she is. I have found.
disagree. I
Alright.
disagree. I got a hint of Thai ladyboy when I look at pictures of her.
Exactly.
Why are you hating Lefty?
All right.
Exactly.
There we go.
Lefty, of course,
All
is
of
the
it.
one person that doesn't like the mixed race girl.
Yeah.
No, I
So
found
Donald
actually.
Sterling's worth like $2 billion. He's about 80 years old, 81, 82, and his girlfriend looks like she's maybe like 38, 40, something like that. Very hot. But she recorded this conversation that they had.
I pegged her younger, but I could be wrong.
Maybe so. But
Black doesn't crack.
He said some very, very racist things, I thought.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'm scared to say them. I was going to do them on Feedback Friday. I may still do that. But it feels like if you show even the slightest amount of empathy or sympathy for this racist douchebag, that you are also a racist douchebag.
Oh, I don't think what he did is all that bad.
Here's the did you guys listen to the whole call?
I did.
Okay, then you know. In the call, I had 2 or 3 takeaways from them. The first one was it was almost like of course he's a racist douchebag. We can't get past that. But it seemed like he had a bigger problem with what his friends thought, right? There was so much of that, like, you know, this is... Oh, come here. Come here.
We are Coletti.
Hold on. I have to flip this thing.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It says he loves his Uncle Lefty. Jackie.
Yeah!
Come closer, Colin.
Wow. Oh, do we? With our swirly cursive handwriting that looks like an artist did it.
That's just how much they love me. That's why you gotta be hating about me. That's the kind of love I inspire.
Looks like my art teacher wrote that. I have the shittiest handwriting when I have to write anything bigger than like normal size. That's wonderful. That's totally manipulative.
So back on topic. It seemed like his biggest problem was what his friends thought of him. That was like where the racism came from. He said, you know, can you just not post it on Instagram and bring them to the games, right? I don't care if you sleep with these people, if you're friends with these people. None of these things bother me. What bothers me is that you're taking them to public events, and I live in this culture. That's one of the phrases that jumped out at me. It's like, I live in this culture. I can't change the world. This is where I live. I'm curious who his billionaire douchebag friends are that are judging him for going out with this beautiful woman.
And you know who those other people are? The other NBA owners.
Yeah, right?
A few other NBA owners.
He's like an old-timey slave owner, right? He's this old racist white guy that owns this team that is, you know, 90% African-American. Mm-hmm. Conservatively, probably.
And the whole era of like, I give them things, I give them this, I provide them, and he's talking about black people. I provide them this, I give them Easterly. It's the equivalent of saying I'm not racist because I've got a black friend. So it's not racist, in Donald Sterling's head, to tell his girlfriend don't bring black people to Clippers games and don't post it on Instagram. But it's not racist because I own an NBA team and sign the checks of these other black players.
Yeah, and and one of the things that caught me was I don't think she was in pictures with like when I imagine him having an issue with his girlfriend in a picture with black people, I imagine like 6 gangbangers holding up like gang signs and like smoking drugs and 40s. Like that's the sort of picture that I'd be like, what the fuck? You can't do that. But in this picture, it was like her and Magic Johnson.
Yes.
At a basketball game.
so okay, the first thing is I'm curious who the rest of his culture is that makes him so sensitive to his mistress prostitute thing. Whatever she is,
Thai lady boy,
Thai lady boy, being in pictures with black people. So that was one of my takeaways. The other, this guy was really, really hurt, right? He kept saying like, "Oh, you're such a fighter." You know, he was unhappy. They mentioned a couple times in the call that it was kind of impending breakup. Like that was a thing that was happening a lot, and all over the net. And I used to think this too, that like money was the key to happiness. Like, you know, if I had a sailboat, I could be so happy, etc. This guy is not happy. This guy's totally unhappy. He's miserable. And that was really interesting to me. The fact that he's worth almost $2 billion. I think I saw 1.9 billion. Does anyone know if I'm?
I think he's got like $2 billion, close to $2 billion cash, and the team is worth like 600 million, like 550 million or something like that.
Maybe, I don't know, PKA stats, right? Let's roll with it. He's worth 2 or 3 billion, and he's not a happy guy, right? His marriage is a mess, obviously. His girlfriend and he are breaking up. It's a total nightmare. And I was like, yeah, regardless of what
Bullshit.
your income level is,
No.
happiness is about relationships.
I think he just sucks at it. I think it depends on the individual, because if you give me $2 billion, I will be happy no matter what. Because if there's a thing not making me happy, it will either be removed or I will remove myself from it. Period.
That's what he was trying to do.
He's doing it all wrong. You think I'm going to be making my own phone calls at that point?
No, it wasn't a phone call. It was him and her in a room. She recorded it.
Oh.
And then leaked it to the press.
I was under the impression it was a phone call.
No,
Either way.
No, it was.
I thought it was a phone call too, but I guess I'm wrong because you sound confident. But
well, it's time to sue her then, right?
Dude, the other thing is this, man. All right, he's a racist douchebag. Don't chastise me for empathizing with a racist douchebag. But she was like drawing it out, right? She kept steering the conversation back to him being racist. She kept doing that. He'd be like, look, my friends are judging me. You can be whoever you want. Just please, in public, don't be with black people. Racist douchebag, no doubt about it, but that was her thing. And then she steers it to like, I can't change the blood going through my veins, baby. Why don't you love me because I'm black? Like, she kept like twisting it into not exactly what he's saying. And he's like, man, you're such a fighter. That's not what I'm saying. It's this. And he's a racist douchebag. Don't get that twisted. But she was also recording this conversation, trying to goad him into saying the worst things he could say.
That's a very private conversation. That's that's like, two people who are in a relationship, and the relationship's falling apart over something. That was a super private conversation. There's no reason for her. She's the biggest douchebag in the scenario in my eyes. Like, there's tons of racists out there, but there's not too many women who would stoop that low and then do this to somebody. She's the biggest scumbag in the scenario, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my understanding. Isn't he suing her for stealing
I hope so.
Millions of money?
His estranged wife is. That's part of the reason why people think she recorded this. Was Sterling's estranged wife is suing V. Stiviano, the Thai lady boy, for embezzling. She's accusing, or she's trying to allege, the estranged wife, I believe, is trying to allege that the gifts that Sterling gave to Stiviano were marital assets. And she's trying to sue to compel a court to order V. Stiviano to give those marital assets back, whatever they are, cash, money, or houses, cars, whatever. And so she's all freaking out.
Huh. Well, I'm glad you got your facts so right. Yeah, so she's being sued by his wife, and then she records him and goads him into being the super douchebag version of him, right? The extra racist thing, and that came to my head. And the last part is the NBA commissioner, is that his name? That top guy, Silver or something like that?
Yeah, Adam Silver.
They want him now to sell the Clippers. So it's not a done deal. A lot of people think
they banned him from the NBA.
The coaches have to vote on whether or not... No, I'm sorry, not the coaches. The other team owners vote on whether or not he's going to be forced to sell his team.
Bullshit.
I'm right about that.
I know you're right about it, but it is bullshit. It's stupid. It seems communist. This guy said something in a private conversation that
that he should be embarrassed by.
We all want to go to our fathers and try to lure some kind of a racist comment out of them. We might be successful if we knew which buttons to push. Mm-hmm. And it was a private conversation, and because of something that happened in that scenario, he's going to have to sell like a $500 million sports team that he loves.
Right.
He loves it. This guy loves basketball and the game of basketball because he owns a fucking team.
And he's always there on courtside watching.
It's his most favorite thing in life, and it's a huge business thing. It's something that's a quarter of his total wealth.
It's like, I hate to be the guy that sympathizes or empathizes with Donald Sterling, but like you said, it almost seems un-American to make him sell his assets. Like if you catch some guy saying something homophobic, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, drain the bank account. Fuck that guy.
Sell his house.
He said a homophobic thing. Yeah,
He's going back to a studio.
Well, here's the thing. There are the supposed secret NBA ownership constitution, something collectively bargained. The NBA, as I understand it, as an organization, is given the power. Some believe this has got to be borne out in courts by lawyers that all really understand this stuff. They have the power technically to do that. Donald Sterling, to be a part of it and to buy the Clippers, had to sign on to this, and as it was iterated through multiple collective bargaining agreements, and it was secret up until now, but there's a secret section of bylaws that say the NBA as an organization does, in certain circumstances, have the power to do this.
And this goes back to, I feel like, and this offends Lefty, so I say it cautiously. Sometimes it seems like, hey, Lefty, what do you think this is right or wrong? And you check the Bill of Rights to see. Right? Like, oh, no. Look, he signed a contract that did this, and lawyers will bore this out in court, and this and that, and then whatever. No, I'm talking about what's right and wrong. And to me, like in America, having someone sell a $500 or $600 million asset because of something they said in a private conversation almost feels like some sort of Nazi Germany, check your papers at the
What did you say about the Führer?
Yeah, like this is North Korea shit here. You know, like, oh, did you offend a sensitive group? And look, he's a racist douchebag. Don't get that twisted. But is being a racist douchebag, like, just from a right and wrong perspective,
is that against
should
the
he
law
have
now?
to sell his team?
No, honestly, my point in bringing that up was it was a hedge against people, because I saw in the comments on the post on Reddit people making the argument of this is all legal and on the up and up because this was a business decision, and because somebody tried to make the moral argument of that's wrong because what we are essentially doing is thought policing and forcing people to sell assets because they say something, because they believe something offensive, because they in their private moments say things and believe things that may be offensive, or that just are offensive, not may be offensive, that are offensive to other people. And that's thought policing, and that's wrong. But the common response to that is, well, it was a business decision and the NBA bylaws say this, so my bringing that up was a hedge against that. It was like a down payment on saying later, yes, he gave up all these rights. It's contractually legal, all on the up and up, supposedly. But just because it's legal doesn't mean, or illegal doesn't mean it's not morally wrong or morally right. It's morally wrong to compel him to sell assets because he essentially because in a private setting, he's a racist. It's just wrong. It's not right.
He wasn't that racist either, was he? I mean, he didn't say the N-word once. Now, let's get it.
He's a classy racist.
He's a classy racist. He was almost ashamed of not that he was racist, but he believed that the whole world was racist, and it's just the way things are. And you could tell he felt bad about it, but he was just living in that world, and that's how he saw things.
Yeah,
which isn't right, but it's how he saw things. And this is an 82-year-old dude. This is super fucking old guy.
Yeah, right. Like in my world, people aren't that racist. You know, like if my wife was her, you know, they'd be like, Woody's banging a hottie, but. It sounded like I put my wife down. That was all twisted up wrong. No, but if hypothetically single Woody was with her, they'd be like, dude, you know, Woody's pulling tail. That still sounds bad. I don't know. Just forget I said this. Just take me out of this. But in his world, they're not saying that. In his world, they're like, you know, oh, he sneaks out to the slave shack or something and gets his tail there. Yeah, right? That's terrible. Like that's I guess the little subset of the world that he lives in. His little corner, people like look down on him for dating someone who Instagrams with Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
And he almost regretfully was trying to explain that to her. I think.
Let's not feel too sorry for this guy, though.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Incredibly wealthy, and he's too dumb, and he doesn't know how to enjoy it. Now, I know that you can't just be like, oh, he's rich, don't feel sorry for him. Like, this guy's going through some real problems, but I don't know. I have a lot of envy for someone with that much money. That's
apparently reports are coming out. Deadspin had a report that somebody close to Donald Sterling told a credible source, whatever the fuck that means nowadays, said that Donald Sterling now is calling business friends and trying to like get them to be like, I'm not a racist, right? Like, you and I know each other. I'm not a racist, right? So he's like going through his Rolodex trying to call people and just, I'm not a bad person, am I? I'm not bad.
See, he doesn't think he's a bad guy. He's just really old and set in his ways.
He's a bad guy. Yeah.
But he doesn't know it.
Well, no, he does know it because him and his wife, I believe, had to settle out of court for violating all kinds of equal housing laws.
Maybe he does know it. I don't fucking know.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Woody. I'm sorry, Woody. That's a legal procedure. I'm sorry. So we can't talk about it as to whether it's right and wrong or whether that makes him a piece of shit. I'm sorry. I retract that.
I told you, World. It hurts his feelings.
No, it's well, when you say right or wrong, I default to that. You want to say, is it morally right or morally wrong? Well, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not well informed on the part you just mentioned, but apparently he owns real estate, and he was trying to keep, I don't know if it's just black people or minorities or what, out of his real estate. Doesn't matter,
it's wrong, just wrong.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my details right. But he was keeping some people out, some groups that he felt like he didn't want living in his places, perhaps to keep property values high or something, I don't know. But he had to settle to make it go away. So he didn't.
What racial mix would make the property value highest? Because it can't be all white. That can't be it anymore.
Huh.
You want your area to be?
Oh no, I can't say that.
Say it.
Is being Jewish a race?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're a race of people, the Jews. They,
I mean, I guess if they self-identify as a race, they got.
No, they are a race of people.
Yeah. Oh, are they? Oh.
Yes,
I'm not even sure.
It's both a race and a religion, independent of one another.
But
Judaism.
Yeah,
so you think if everyone in an area were Jewish, the property values would be high?
Northbrook, Illinois, is
that a real Jewy area?
It's
Kyle's,
there's
what's that girl's name? What, the Sterling's mistress?
V. Stiviano.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to Stiviano you right now, and it's making me laugh. He's like, is that a Jewy area? Tell us more.
I've got lots of Jewish friends, so I can just keep going with this. They know.
Oh, well, see, he's not racist. He has
not
Jewish
an anti-Semitic bone in my body.
I'm not racist. My dog is black.
That's why I don't like. That's why I'm Lefty and I butt heads so often.
Go on, Lefty.
I'll just say this. I know that I know a radio host in a prominent radio host, sports radio host in Chicago is very very involved in the Jewish community, and he comes from Northbrook, and his name is Bernstein. So I'll just leave that there. So, I mean, that's just what it is.
Is Northbrook anywhere near Bolingbrook?
No.
Not at all.
No, it's on the north side. I believe it's Northbrook.
I grew up in Bolingbrook one time.
You're not the first one. A lot of people, they just walk in and, what is this? Oh, it's Bolingbrook. Is she trying to make up for it?
Yeah, are you trying to make up for the fast food with a Rice Krispie treat?
I promise you that was not coming had I not said anything about that fast food.
Kyle says this wasn't coming had he not mentioned the fast food.
Really? Because you never get dessert on PK.
She has a strong point.
It's been a while since I've seen one of those hot fudge sundaes with a cherry.
Been a while since he's seen a hot fudge sundae with a cherry.
I don't have any cherries.
I'm not surprised.
You don't need to bring Woody food to make Uncle Lefty love you. That's all I gotta say.
You don't need to bring me food to make Uncle Lefty love you.
I know.
Oh, this is great.
They think Colin didn't write this.
He's been taking calligraphy? Is that what you teach him at home?
This letter, I didn't even notice how swirly the letters were as you were pointing out. Look at that Y on Lefty.
It looks like the name of a Pixar
nice.
movie or something. Those beautiful letters.
Oh, I just realized that now it's mirrored for you guys now, but that's okay. You're outnumbered like 200,000 to 2.
No, it's not mirrored for us.
No. Currently, we're viewing it as it should be, which is how I'm more comfortable looking at it. It really freaks me out seeing it the other way.
Well,
It's
now
not
I'm
comfortable to look
confused.
at you.
Usually,
Because I've been in
Well-
that room, so like I know what it's shaped like. So when I see it backwards, it freaks me out. So Donald Sterling, do we give him? All right, let's come up with a some sort of rating system for how racist.
1 to 10.
Yeah,
I'm gonna 6 him.
yeah. I'll give him a 6.5.
Okay.
I think he's close to. I can't call him a 7 because he didn't drop an N-bomb.
Yeah, I think with the you have to at least drop some N bombs. Having said, and Lefty, first I want to hear your number, and then I want to go on.
I want to say a 10 because being a racist is binary. Either you're a racist or either you're on or you're off. You're a racist or you're not.
Then he's one of your
Really?
people.
But okay, but there are more extremes. Like Hitler, the Fuhrer. I
He
would give him a
wins.
10. When he saw a race that he really didn't like, his solution was a final one. He was like, all right, I don't like those people. They've all got to go down to the last one, exterminate them. But then you've got Donald Sterling, who doesn't want his girlfriend on Instagram with Magic Johnson. There's definitely some numerical value to be assigned to the difference.
Oddly, he is okay with his girlfriend sleeping with Magic Johnson.
He threw that out there, and I was like, whoa. You
Yeah.
do anything with Magic you want, but don't you sleep with him.
Yeah. I perhaps I'm racist because I'd be fine if my wife took her picture with Magic Johnson, but not slept with him.
Yeah, him primarily. Like he's the last. He has AIDS. He has AIDS.
He didn't actually say sleep with Magic Johnson, by the way.
Yeah, he
just
did.
I thought he said black people. You could sleep
No,
with black
he
people,
was,
but
they were talking about
Instagram.
They were talking about Magic Johnson at that moment. He was like, bring him to the house, feed him. Take him here, take him there. Fuck him. I don't care, but don't be on Instagram with him. And I was just like,
I interpreted it differently. I thought he was talking about black people in general when he said that you could sleep with them.
No, that was Magic at that moment. And you know what? I'm trying to imagine, how this happened, and I don't imagine that his older rich friends follow her on Instagram. But I bet they're.
Should you be defending my honor?
Oh God.
About the food?
Yes. Since you got breakfast in bed.
She really is upset about this.
I got breakfast in bed. It was
gotta
pretty amazing.
understand.
I can
Kyle
even
makes people uncomfortable. Strikes again.
Yeah, right. Let me let you guys know exactly what I got for breakfast in bed because it's pretty legit.
The bad guy. And then Kyle gets bumped down to less of a bad guy.
What? Really? I'm losing in this deal? I didn't say anything. I said thank you.
Just like in all other walks of life, Woody's catching shit for something Kyle said. I love it.
And Lefty will be the big winner.
I'm 300 miles away. She can't fuck with me.
You guys should see this. I got this for Jackie, and now I get this like a couple times a week.
What do we got going on here?
This thing.
Hang on. Let me finish my thought about Don. Oh my God.
Almost every day.
Almost every day, Jackie says, I get this.
Oh my
Check this thing out.
God.
Oh wow. Wait.
This is the greatest thing.
It makes the biscuit too.
You put egg McMuffins in there?
English muffins.
English muffins, thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh,
Use English
wow.
muffins in the top, and then I like mine with egg, mozzarella cheese, and sausage, and but like the sausage
What kind of
circle,
sausage?
the circle
Yeah.
sausage thing. I don't know what to call
patties.
that.
Patties.
Yeah, and this one has ham, but I find ham lacks the bite to make the sandwich interesting.
It's
so-
not breakfast sandwich material unless you've got like country ham.
Okay. Yeah, so this is what I get for breakfast quite a lot. And she makes it
Canadian
with this
ham's a piece of
machine.
Shit.
Yeah.
The Canadians on the Reddit were so proud they invented the fucking like electric wheelchair or something. Oh,
Thanks.
oh, I clap for you. That's all you get. That's the electric
Yeah.
wheelchair. I mean, Lefty appreciates it, but I mean, come on, that's not a great
Like,
I've been playing a lot of Civilization, and when you achieve the electric wheelchair, nobody makes a big fuss.
What was I gonna say? Oh, back to the Donald Sterling happiness thing, dude. I would take some freaking sausage McMuffins for breakfast in bed like 6 times a week over Sterling's $2 billion.
I don't know about that, but
I'm happier than he is.
I bet this is what's going on. I think that
Especially
Sterling.
right now.
I think that his rich buddies, their young mistresses, follow this chick on Instagram. And they're seeing her with these black guys on Instagram, and they're going like, to Donald Trump or whoever their sugar daddy is, and being like, look at this, look at his girlfriend. She's all these black guys. Look at this, and they're like, so I saw you on the Instagram with a Negro, Reginald. And that's how this is getting all out of hand. And he's just like, honey, could you not be on the Instagram with those people? And that's totally what happened here. And he's an 81-year-old grandpa, by the way. Like, when they're that old, their racism doesn't bother me anymore. It's just kind of cute and like it's like something from another time. Yeah, it's like cute racism. You're like, oh, grandpa. You won't get your suits done at the Korean place because of what happened in the war. Oh, that's cute. It's that kind of racism.
That's all right. But I mean, I fall back to what essentially, I mean, again, regardless of it's on the up and up because of the bylaws and all the things he signed. What is essentially being done here is Donald Sterling is being vilified and removed from a business that he helped build, the NBA, because of inner thoughts he had. He wasn't on a podcast. He didn't come on PKA and start ranting about black people and how they're inferior inherently and whatever and all these other racist things. He didn't broadcast it at all. He wasn't trying to proselytize and change people's minds and affect people. He's done that before because he's racist or committed racism, but what he's being punished for now is essentially just his inner thoughts, and that's very worrisome to me. That's scary. That's
I agree entirely.
And for everybody to be like, yeah, we got him! Yeah! And it's like...
Yeah, I don't like that.
What you're celebrating?
Like, who's the... Imus, right? You probably know Imus, the radio DJ?
Yeah.
Don Imus.
He called... the Rutgers women's basketball team, nappy-headed hoes. There were 2 women's basketball teams, and if you were to judge them by appearances, I don't know how to say this without sounding racist myself, but I'll try. One just looked a little more street, the Rutgers girls, right? I think that the way they carried themselves was a little more.
The way their hair was braided,
casual.
They looked more street. They really did. Some of them had tattoos.
And the other team, while they're playing basketball, like, you could easily imagine them in, like,
volleyball
evening gowns. I'm trying to say. And then but as he was talking about him, he's like, this team's nappy-headed hoes, and this team is something else, and he got fired, and I was in support of that firing. It was like, yes, you shouldn't be putting down these girls, and maybe it's just because I'm so old. I still see college kids as kids, old kids, young adults, but some of these girls are 19 years old, 18 years old, and like, I just feel like, and they're in the public eye, and they're getting all this attention. They're in the NCAA. Go easy on them. Let's not forget these girls don't have decades of public eye exposure. And
no, they're just out there playing basketball.
Yeah, they're out there playing basketball, and he's judging them on how they look.
Well, their version of basketball, which is just markedly worse than
less entertaining.
This is hardly any dunking, and but
the rim.
So when Imus said that stuff about these women, I didn't like it at all. I thought like you're in the public forum smashing these girls. That's not cool. They didn't do anything to you, but and that's a big part of it. They didn't do anything to him. They're just out there playing basketball, but when Sterling does says something like, hey, stop taking Instagram pictures with black people and bringing them to my games. My friends are giving me shit. And these are his private inner thoughts and via a secret recording. It's different. It's rough. Yeah. I don't know.
What are your thoughts on President Obama coming out and saying something about it?
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. He didn't.
What did
It
he
wasn't
say?
like he was in front. Like he was asked a question in front of a camera. It was a White House press aide or press person who was speaking on behalf of the president. But
He like made a statement.
yeah, it was, the president is happy with this decision. No room like for that kind of person in the NBA. That was. Here,
I
let
think
me look
Obama
up the
makes a
actual
lot
quote.
of statements like that where he should just keep his mouth shut.
every
He's
so
got bigger
often
problems.
he seems a little opportunistic, and I hold his office to a higher standard than to jump into every TMZ story.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Let's see if there's anything. The president believes the NBA has done the right thing, the White House press secretary Jay Carney said during his Wednesday briefing. An avid basketball fan, Obama weighed in on Sterling's comments over the weekend, calling them, quote, incredibly offensive racist statements, end quote. Go close Gitmo, Obama. Shut the fuck up.
right?
Go do other things.
And I feel like reverse racism is just racism, etc. I'm not sure how to approach this. I'm so sensitive to people that will be sensitive. But
He's playing the race card.
did you guys ever see the TV show In Living Color? You're probably too young for that. Because I
Yeah.
was like,
yeah, I've seen it.
that thing was like semi-modern day blackface. The way that they painted white people. Every one of them super nerd, etc. You see tons of black stand-up comedians where every time they talk about white people, Chappelle's different, but a lot of black comedians paint us as like super nerds with these weird voices. They go pigeon-toed. We are who is the super nerd with the suspenders and he wore his belt high. He was black. He was on a sitcom. It was
Urkel.
Oh,
Urkel. Yeah. It's like they do the Urkel character every time they want to impersonate a white guy. And it feels like blackface to me. I don't think you see white comedians like go gangster every time they want to say black guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of them do, but
Yeah, I agree. It is racist, but I don't. With kind
It's
with comedy,
racist,
I really
and
don't
there's
care.
no consequences for it. But for Sterling, all of a sudden it's hanging from the highest tree.
well, there was an NBA executive for the New York Knicks who was a player. Went over to the front office, and I believe it was before the whole Donald Sterling thing came out publicly and was giving speeches calling for an all-black league, a black-only league.
Why would they do that? They don't want They want no whites.
Right, and that was the whole idea. And it's all black lead, all black owners. That was it. And the libtards try to paint it like it's something else, like it's different somehow. But no, that's racism. Because what's the end game to anti-racism? That was just a rhetorical question, I guess. My point.
I thought I jumped in a pause. My wife worked in financial aid in William Patterson, where she went to college. And her boss was black. And she would outright say, like, we need more blacks in here. We need to change this mix up. She worked with more than... So the school was 8% black, and the people she worked with were about 60% black. And she wasn't happy with that. She wanted to get that number to like 80 or 90% black employees. And it's like, what is going on here? Just off the top of my head, it seems like it should be roughly mirroring the student population, not some contrived, we need to make sure everyone in here is black.
Yeah, just go by whoever's best for the job, since it's education. If that comes out to be a 95% black mix, then yeah, let's run that. But if it comes out to be a 95% white mix, let's run that too.
Yeah, that's perfect. It plays into Woody's thing about, if women were actually earning 30% less on the dollar than males for the same amount of work,
You just hire all women.
it would be all women. And that would just be the way it is.
Microsoft announces $40 billion profits this quarter.
Because they're only hiring women. Yeah.
They fired all the men.
Right. There's no way that businesses are passing up all those savings, to hire men. And instead, when you go to the extreme numbers, like 28% or 27% less, to get to numbers like that, you have to ignore what jobs people take. You have to ignore the fact that more women are pursuing like elementary education and more guys are pursuing, the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and finance. Right? How many women do you see work in finance? They're few, but by and large, that's like a guys' club. And if if women want to make $1 on the dollar, don't look to getting paid more for same job, same work. That's it. It's all it is. And I've been in the workforce for a long time, and my observation is that a lot of women will take several years off, and it puts a pause in their career because they decide to stay home with the kids. And and that's an awesome decision, right? Jackie, of course, didn't really do a career outside the house. Here's another land field. What is that called? Minefield. Thank you.
You want me to take it from here so you don't fuck this up?
I still get in trouble.
Because I know you're gonna.
But if you decide to put your career on hold for half a decade so that you can raise your kid until they enter school, that's a great decision. I'm glad it worked for you. But you can't come back from that and say, why am I earning less? Hasn't my market value been increasing this whole time? No, sweetie, it's not. You're not as good a programmer as the guy who's been coding for the last 5 years. You're out of date now. You're not as good a whatever. You spent 5 years at home raising your kid, and that's awesome. I hope you loved it. But you always knew there was a financial consequence for it.
Yeah. It's like in the first Alien movie, Ripley gets frozen for like 90 years, and when she wakes up, when she went to sleep, she was the second officer on a star cruiser. All of a sudden, she wakes up. Now all she can do is drive a forklift. It's been 80 years. She's out of date.
I was hoping you were going to make it like a Civilization reference.
That's where we need to go with this. Let's talk about Civilization.
Oh, I kicked your ass and you forfeited.
I was winning so we weren't far enough into the game.
Why did you quit?
To have even met each other.
Why did you quit?
First of all, our civilizations hadn't even met, and we had an internet connection issue. I don't know whose end it was on, but we got disconnected on Skype as well as the game. I waited half an hour, and when I came back, the game was still just kind of spinning, so, I ended the session.
Meanwhile, I kept playing and kicked his ass.
Well, the game froze, and it wouldn't work anymore, so at the time, however, I had about 700 score.
We hadn't even met.
And you had about 330
That's not
score.
even true.
I had warped ahead like into another era,
That's
and
not
I
even
had
true.
like 4 or 5 cities.
It is true that it like without having we had the same amount of cities. I had more cities for a lot of the game, but my people were unhappy, and because they were unhappy, I couldn't like build very quickly, and I couldn't build like the monuments and circuses and stuff that would make them happy again. It was my first game of Civ V. I sucked. What do you say?
Yeah, you gotta stack happiness, because when you start a new city, your happiness goes down like a huge amount. So you've got to stack happiness early on as best you can. I got some strats going.
I didn't.
Really for any kind of a PKA plays at any time.
Oh my God! This
game.
is the most. It's 16 hours of two bleary-eyed people not talking. We need to play lightning round, because the way you play Civ is not multi-person conducive.
I'm telling you, no, the way that
bullshit.
Our first game we played ever was not multiplayer conducive, no. But since I have played about 15 hours of Civ, and I think I know how to make a game that would be, 3 hours tops, something like that.
I don't know.
Chop that up into.
Were we talking? Were we saying
videos.
clever? I was just sitting there.
No, we weren't talking, because I was spaced out, and we were learning the game.
I was glazed eyes waiting for you to make your move.
I'm telling you, once we all three know the game, we get the three of us in there, and we can keep a conversation going. Like the first game, we weren't talking.
They must have a game. Here's what I want. I want the world timer to advance on a timer, right? So that every 15 seconds, I want to say a year ticks by, but I know early on they're like 100 years.
That's RTS.
Yeah, so we need Civ the RTS. It might be called.
We're not going to play StarCraft.
Dude.
We picked Civ, not StarCraft.
Kyle literally takes 15 minutes to turn.
No. Oh, okay. If you're gonna make me say it, what happened was
It's not true. Whatever he's about to say about having more units is bullshit. I had more cities. I had more people.
Ended up with like 3 settlers in these really crappy cities. I was at like we were comparing stats.
He never even got to my world.
I never did, but we were comparing our stats.
Because they were unhappy. They weren't producing much, but I had more units to control.
I had like 3 cities. They each had like 12 to 15 population, and I was way advanced in the tech tree. I had trebuchets.
But noob! Those things don't impact how long it takes to take a turn. Do you have 15 citizens? That doesn't make a difference.
I had so many units.
It doesn't make I had more cities.
I was building.
I had more units. I hadn't discovered that you can have workers work automatically yet. So I had like 16 workers that I'm like manually building roads between the cities with. Think
about this. If you spent that much production on workers, you couldn't have had anything. You couldn't have had anything.
Yeah, you didn't have much of a defensive position.
Elephant warriors. There were these people
I didn't need much of a defensive position.
War elephants, Woody.
Yeah, you never had barbarians come to roust you? Barbarians were never.
They came.
The whole game, they were fucking us up. The barbarians are the hardest part. If you're going from like the crappy Xbox Civilization Revolution game to legit
in Xbox, barbarians were just like free stuff.
Yeah, you hit them like 2 or 3 times and they were dead with your weakest unit.
Is Civ 5 on the Xbox?
No.
Okay,
no.
I have so here's my Civilizations experience. I played a little bit on the PC a long time ago. I don't know what version it is. I played a bunch of Civ Rev on the Xbox, and I probably have 20 hours worth of Civ 5 in there. I might be exaggerating, but 15 hours, something like that.
Yeah. I think we're exactly the same. I've also watched a few YouTube videos, if that counts for anything.
I think it does. I think it's partly why you did. Like, I didn't realize some of the things that I needed to manage, like happiness. You know.
Even after watching there's I wish I knew the guy's name because it's a great tutorial. But it's like an hour and 22 minutes long, and it's 2 guys talking through the game. One has about 200 hours experience. The other is kind of like us, and they're talking through like the starting like 80 moves or something like that, and why he's doing this and how everything works, and explaining what cultures are. And it's even after watching that and 2 or 3 more videos. It still took me forever to know how to use a worker.
We have
to the best of its ability.
We need to find another game mode because Kyle's strategy is this. I can tell you what his strategy is. Take 30 minutes, no, more like 15 minutes, to take a turn and get Woody reading Reddit. That's it. It says waiting for other player in the corner. I didn't realize that thing could change. I thought it was just saying that all the time.
I had a bigger and more powerful civilization by a double. More than double.
Bullshit.
Therefore, I had so many units exploring the world that it took me a while. I do apologize that my turns were taking so much longer than yours. That you're exaggerating, though. My turns would take about 2 to 3 minutes tops.
No, he would take his turns, and I would like take the trash out, and I'd come back, and I'm still waiting.
And the worst part is, in that game, he and I make our moves simultaneously, and then the AI takes its turn, unless he and I are militarily opposed. I hope that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is, he wasn't just not taking long to do what he had to do. Like he got his job done, and it still took me like so long to do my side that he's freaking out about it. So you just had a pathetic civilization. I think that's what it comes down to.
You can throw all the stones you want, but you think at half speed. That's what it comes down to.
You were the one throwing stones. You had no technology. You had nothing over there. You know what you're doing.
Please.
It was
I'm
a
like,
failure.
yeah, I've got my chariot archers. You're like, chariot archers? That sounds amazing. I wish I had chariot archers.
I didn't have chariot archers because I had the Indians, and they have war elephant archers.
Whatever.
The unit is replaced by my giant elephant people. I'm sorry.
Talk. No, look, Kyle was ahead in the game. It was the first time I had played it. I didn't realize it was.
Well, we need to have a rematch then.
In hindsight, I'm not gonna play you again unless we can change the rules. Good Lord, I got shit to do.
I told you 3 times. You're pulling a Wings of Redemption here. You're not listening to reason. We will change the rules. We will speed it up. Fast forward mode. Whatever it takes.
I would be willing to do that. Yeah, but not just small continent. No, I want some sort of reward for not taking half an hour. If you just have a smaller continent and you still take 30 minutes a turn, in all seriousness,
in some of these lightning round scenarios, we know exactly where each other are and where we start. There's North versus the South, like Confederate War. That's one of them. You start with lots of units.
That might be DLC I don't have.
You didn't get the DLC. I can't believe you're so cheap. You didn't get the DLC. I was like, $30 version with the base game or $50 version with every piece of DLC and every special item. Yeah, I'll get the $50 version. I don't want to get cheap on the guys. And you got the $30 one.
You know what my real motivation was?
What?
My SSD drive doesn't have that much space on it, and I thought it was going to default install into that. It didn't. It ended up installing onto my RAID array. But I was like, I don't have the hard drive space. And the version you bought, if I read it right, it came with like every version of Civ, right?
No, it's all the DLC. It's 6 gigs.
Oh. I just scanned the description of it, and I thought it came with like Civ Rev, Civ 4,
No.
Civ
Those
1.
are expansion packs to the game. It's Gods and Kings. Hang on, I've got it right here on Steam.
Oh, see, I just read it quickly. I was multitasking. I was like, all right, I got to get this thing, because I don't want to be the one that... I don't want to be the reason PK8 plays doesn't happen. I like that firmly seated on Kyle. So when he said get the game, I was like, all right, I'll get it. And I just clicked.
No, it's all on you now because I'm addicted to this game. I'm getting better. I think we should go ahead and I think we should have a process where we pick what our race is going to be, what the map's going to be. And I don't want to be willy-nilly about this. I don't want to be like, yeah, let's just do that scenario because that's easy. Let's pick a scenario that'll take about 3 hours to complete. And, will be fun and entertaining to watch.
I'm totally down for it. Just let me know when you guys do this again. I'll hop in and kick your asses.
I'm going to be playing late tonight after I get back. Definitely going to be playing most of the night. I'll probably all night. I'll be playing all night.
All right, so other games we can play, though, outside of Civilization, Left 4 Dead, Payday 2.
Speaking of games, check out Dropman, iTunes link in the description. It's a simplistic game that gets very hard and addicting the more you play.
Dropman.
And WoodyCraft.net, best fucking Minecraft server in the multiverse. I don't know, I shouldn't have put the F in there, I don't like it. Just best Minecraft server in the multiverse.
You see, I thought that one I think over... No, it was before Christmas. It was probably the summer sale last year on Steam. I'm pretty sure I got the gold edition of Civ 5. Kyle, do you know, does it list all the DLCs you have in your Steam library?
I accidentally clicked Civilization, so I've got Sid Meier's music pumping into my ears right now. So give me 1 second, and I'll read all the DLC. I gotta get out of this window.
I thought I bought it. I guess not. Usually there's like a show in store thing. Not exactly sure.
Kyle's playing games during PKA.
Oh, thank God. No, I
Bastard.
wasn't.
I hear boiling lava, Kyle. Fuck you.
I'm a Steam noob, so I clicked the wrong thing here. Let's see. It comes with strategy.
Lefty, have you played Civ multiplayer?
I have not played the multiplayer. No.
We mostly
Okay.
the bulk of my experience comes from the Xbox version. And we were kind of achievement hunters. So we'd win with every civilization on the easy level. And then I think it's Chieftain and then King. And we beat everything with King. And then we don't win every time with the next level up. I forget what it's called.
Okay.
And that's about our skill level.
Okay, so it comes with... So the version I got comes with Brave New World, Gods and Kings, the Scrambled Continents map pack, and 16 other items. 13 other items that, I mean, it's just things like the civilization Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar II, and just various scenarios and map packs. Okay. It comes with everything.
All right, cool. So I just looked. That's the one I got. I've got all this stuff. I've got
Nice.
they got everything. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm up for play. I really am addicted to this fucking game. I started playing, I guess it was like noon. I got up, I showered, I ran a couple of errands, got back home, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play some fucking Civilization. Go in there with the Shoshone, and the next thing I knew, it was 9:30 p.m. And literally the entire day and the entire night had went past, and I like came out of the room bleary-eyed and like stumbled upstairs, and like I was like, what the fuck has happened? I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. I've just been playing Civilization, and I lost. Like, it
All
was
that for
the
nothing.
worst feeling. Yeah, I was like, the Romans fucked my ass. I'm done here. Like, this was a waste of a day, but it was
That's
the most fun I've had in a while.
That's the worst feeling, like when you're attacking like a city, and then you start doing the math in your head, and you're like, oh shit,
I'm gonna lose.
yeah, I don't think I have enough here. I don't have.
You're
enough.
like, okay, so this is everything I've got, and there's no more coming for a while. And then meanwhile, you like hear their units like piling up. You're like, they're like, rah 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 rah. Everything they're just pumping units. And you're just like, well, I've lost. I might as well fucking quit now. Because Shaka is not gonna accept any terms of peace at this point.
No, I killed I had gotten longswordsman before everybody else in my most recent game, and I'm like, all right, this city stayed next to me. We don't even have anything on the board. We're not friends. Then fuck you. I'm taking your shit. And I attacked the city once, and I was like, oh man, all right. And I just it was their city was right next to their closest. Like was a few tiles away from their border, and so I pulled back and then just quickly declared peace. Like, oops, my bad. Sorry. They were like, yeah, that's good. So
I like that the different civilizations have different personalities. So like Shaka would be hard to make a deal with, but like some of the other civilizations are much more friendly.
yeah, Gandhi always wants to be your friend.
Yeah, I played as Gandhi. I haven't said on any one civilization that I really like a lot. I like the Shoshone. I think that really is my favorite right now.
Yeah, I like the Native American ones because there's no penalty to I believe
Moving through forest tiles.
yeah, which is early game, which is kind of what you want because everything's forested.
Their scout is armed too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just wondering like what kind of content. Is it just we record, chop it up into 30-minute bits, 45-minute bits, upload and go, or is it look for funny parts of us talking or interesting parts of things we're doing? I don't know like what kind of content.
I feel like we should lean on you for that. Like when it comes to gameplay videos, like so I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this, but did I say this on PKA already? But someone made this video hating on me. All right, whatever. Every day I wake up, there's a new one. And Lefty described it as like a 2011 style video. He's like, I felt like this guy hadn't moved forward at all. He was just talking over gameplay. He talked about the game quite a bit. And YouTube has moved on since then. And when I watched the video, I thought, oh, that, like, if I were in his shoes trying to accomplish this goal, like, profit off of drama, then I probably would have made a video just like that. It made me realize that perhaps I'm out of date. Perhaps I need to update my format, which is why the last Feedback Friday looked like it did, a new format, trying to change it up. I've been thinking of bringing back Mail Monday, but this time I was like, what if I did it, but I did it like I did my Feedback Friday with the camera on me and the gameplay in the corner, and I did
I would
one
like Mail
question.
Monday if they had to actually mail you letters and you opened them.
I've got letters stacked up, I think. And then I just did one question and spent more time on it instead of like 4 questions. I'm like, what if I just swapped up the format like that? That might be interesting. Plus, I wouldn't hit repeats as often because I wouldn't do like 4 a show. But anyway, so when Lefty says, what will the format be? I want to be like, man, if there's anyone in this call that has his like ear to the ground with regards to that format, it's you.
So what do you think, Lefty?
My approach would be, just give people everything. Like, here it is. Here's us playing Civilization V. You want 30 minutes? Because people will watch 30 minutes of stuff. They'll come back multiple times. And so I say, I'm not going to do you the disservice of trying to say, like, oh, no, you don't want to watch this because it's bad or it's not funny. Of course, there's at some point you can realize, nah, this is just shit, and cut it. But I'm more of the fan of, and frankly, it's easier, especially when you're dealing with hours and hours and hours of HD footage, to just 30, 45 minutes, here you go. Here it is. You find what you like. Watch it. Just, you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can skip around. You can watch the whole thing if you want. If you like this area, or if you like this one instance and you just want to watch that and then go, well, then go. And it's all there for you. And then there's the practical reality of longer videos like that tend to monetize well. So I think it's a win-win. Everybody, I've had a good response from long-form, what I call long-form content, which is just more longer longer stuff.
I have a new question. Do you guys ready for a new topic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you were forced to kill 1/3 of the Earth's population, what criteria would you use to select who dies? I can go first if you want to think about it, because I've been taking notes.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. This might kill more than 1/3 of the population, but I'm an overachiever like that. If you're forced to kill 1/3 of the population, what would your criteria be? People that drive slowly in the left lane. People that ask me if they can ask me a question. People that purposely misspell words. People with AIDS, cystic fibrosis, and other diseases that would be instantly cured by killing them all. Yeah, magic's done, right? You know, that way, dude, if I kill everyone with AIDS and everyone with cystic fibrosis and everyone with other diseases like that, bam! No more AIDS, no more cystic fibrosis. I've solved a global problem. I'm a humanitarian, really. Guys that wear flat-brimmed hat. That's my list.
Oh, come on. Sometimes it just has a flat brim.
You fucked up, dude. You got to curve that shit before it goes on your head.
No. Do you mean like iron flat, like it just came out of the store flat, or
like the sticker's still on it?
If we're gonna be really stuck on this thing, I might limit it to just flat brim hats where stickers are still on it, or tags on the little freaking plastic gun thing.
How about just hats where you leave the tag on? Any hat you leave, the tag on that you're proving to me that this is an authentic $15 hat. not a cheap $3 knockoff.
You're a good shit.
I do have an issue. So girls with flat brim hats are sometimes cute, right? It's like when girls do it, I don't feel like they're trying to be gangster. I feel like they're trying to be cute. When guys do it, I feel like they're trying to be tough. And Bieber, you're not.
All right, so those people. Who else?
That's my list so far. I think I've done well more than 1/3.
Yeah. Oh, so you're killing all those people? I thought it was just like if I had to choose, I would choose one of this list.
No. This list is we're here and we're growing. Dude, we're gonna wake up tomorrow and they'll be like, "Holy shit, this place is a lot better." By the way, Woody cured AIDS. He just killed everybody.
Okay, so I got to kill 1/3 of the population. How many people? 7 billion? Is that where we're at?
Yeah,
something like that. Who knows?
Close to it. 6.5.
6.5. All right, so we'll call it
2 billion.
Yeah, call it 2 billion. How do you kill 2 billion people?
I mean, you could just take out China and India.
Racist.
No, that's just, easy math.
Oh, wait. I saw this one on the internet, but I love the idea.
That's what I do. Get all our manufacturing and our call centers back.
Adults in first world countries that can't read.
Yeah, literacy would probably be illiterate.
I saw one the other day.
Yeah, they gotta go, right?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, it was like we were at the same place. I'll just leave it at that. And I was like, can he not fucking read?
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't know. I never really thought about it. His wife does always read the menu for him. And I was like, that motherfucker can't read. What the hell are we doing here?
In Woody's world, that shit's taken care of.
Right, not children, mind you, because children are
adults.
Grown-ass man.
I said adults.
Like a 50-year-old dude.
Adults that in first world countries too, right? Because if you're from, I don't know, I feel like naming any country would insult them, right? But if you're from some like indigenous tribe in Brazil or something, then that might be different. But if you're from a first world country and you can't read, gotta go.
Yeah, but what's the goal here? If the goal is to help humanity, what's that indigenous tribe doing in Brazil to help humanity? What are they doing? Are they curing cancer? Are they
have a heart?
You're killing 2 billion people more with your list. You're killing like 75%.
We'll need
to be lazy about it.
Calculated up to figure out how many people Woody actually wants to die. You have to come up with the number of AIDS patients. You have to come up with what was the other one? The people, you have to look up some driving statistics.
Slowly in the left lane.
Use NSTCA and then extrapolate upon the rest of the population.
People who ask me if they can ask a question. People that purposely misspell their words. People with AIDS, cystic fibrosis, and other diseases that would be cured by death. And
there's stats for all those things.
Guys that wear flat-brimmed hats.
just go with the sales of certain hats. That you can totally do that.
Yeah.
You can come up with that number. It wouldn't be so hard. I think you're still low. I don't think you're to 2 billion at all. I think you've got
Really?
if I had to guess, I'd say you've got like 300 million people there tops.
Wow.
Like there just aren't that many people with AIDS, cystic fibrosis, whatever that other disease was, and driving slow in the left lane. But you'd have to classify
You
that a
might
little bit
underestimate the number of people who purposely misspell on the internet. Just saying. It seems pretty common.
better. Yeah, but that's gonna be pretty hard to.
All right, let me
come
think
up with.
here. Well, maybe we can brainstorm and do this as a team instead of individual
I'm
lists.
pretty happy with China and India.
All right, so I can't sign off on that.
Okay, well just China. Can we agree on China?
Well, if you gotta pick one, it
Well,
should be
I guess that has the added benefit of we won't owe them money anymore.
Yeah, we take
if we
out-
kill all of them, do we just not owe them money anymore? Like, well, it's gone. They don't hold that paper anymore. I don't know, how many people are at the Vatican?
Like 50,000 total in the whole popery.
Okay. And the Vatican City holds how many? Maybe 1 million or so?
I think.
Why do you want to kill everyone in the Vatican?
It's like when you're taking out a tumor, you got to take a little bit of healthy tissue to make sure you got it all.
You're taking all the tissue.
But wait, what are the
taking that much
Vatican?
tissue,
Is it
some
because
kids down the road are gonna
is
die.
it because they're
It's just
homophobes?
You cut the head off. You cut the head off, and the snake will die.
But is it the homophobia that, like, what is it about the Vatican that gets you? Is it because they hate women? Because they hate gay people? What is it? I assume it's one of their hate stances.
The hating women, hating gay people, and no, hating the sinner or hating the sin but loving the sinner is a bullshit cop out, and you know it.
Obviously.
Because it's like, oh well, I hate the sin, but I'm still going to oppress the sinner because fuck them. The homophobia, the hating women, and the child touching, and the covering up of the child touching, and the laundering money for the mob, which the Vatican Bank does, and then all of a sudden the Pope is still like, you know what? I want to keep that in business.
And they work with the Nazis.
And they worked with the Nazis.
Did they work with the Nazis? You're holding that against them, Lefty? That came out of the blue.
I'm reformed.
Okay.
I'm born again.
I'll add Vatican to the list.
At the Vatican, that's a good 30,000
Not
people.
on my list. That's pretty hardcore.
Pretty hardcore. You're gonna kill how many?
You're killing people for being Indian
Chinese.
and Chinese.
I've got another billion left to go, or like 800 million at least. Actually, with change, probably another billion. I can take the Chinese and another billion people. And just the ones on the mainland. I'm not racist. Come on, it's just the country, not the people. Let's see, who else? I could take out a bunch of those Middle Eastern countries that are always starting
This
trouble.
one's kind of harsh.
We just went Woody started it off. It was very nice. And Kyle and I just took this.
Bahrain, I'd get rid of them.
Just went in a direction.
Some
just
random
not-
place in the Mediterranean, I just wiped that out.
People allergic to peanut butter? Right? Isn't this something we should eradicate?
Oh, Kitty would die.
Oh, I forgot about
We
Kitty.
can't vote to kill Kitty.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if peanuts kill you, maybe
Yeah,
it was
but
meant to be.
it's not genetic.
It's got to be.
Yeah, but it's not a hereditary trait.
You don't think?
I don't think that since you have a peanut allergy, your child will necessarily.
Not necessarily. But
I think
if we
I think
kill
it's
everyone with a
environmental.
peanut allergy, yeah, that's a human weakness that we probably cure.
Okay.
Kitty will
All right,
understand
Kitty's
it's
gotta
for the
die.
best.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Kitty, look.
I'm not backing that one either. Yours are really mean and for no reason at all.
No, what do you mean no reason at all? This will improve Earth.
I just said I don't think it's a hereditary trait.
Yeah, but you're not a doctor. Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a, who knows? Who cares? Take a shot
Give it a go.
Maybe
Can we run a
we'll win.
Google search first, Woody?
He's like, no, we got to do it now.
Pretty shoot first and ask questions later.
Some of these things will be figured out through testing.
Woody's going to be like, oh, I guess that wasn't hereditary. Oops. My
I'd like to
bad.
kill all the people in those Mexican drug cartels.
Damn.
All right. See where you get your weed.
I don't co-sign that.
And get rid of all those people in those Mexican drug cartels. I think they need to go. Although, yeah, they just need to go. I think most of Mexico's government probably needs to go. It would literally be a crime to say the same about my own government, so I would never say that. The Canadians and the Chinese. Yeah.
How did I not think of Canadians?
There's like 80 million of them, I think. I don't know how many there are.
I love America's relationship with
We don't
Canada is
even
funny.
know. We don't even keep count.
We gave you a few sports teams. We're taking those back, by the way.
Aw. You getting the Clippers though?
Yeah, you get the Clippers and Donald Sterling. Have fun. There you go. Here's this guy.
Oh, you want to talk about the Toronto mayor getting caught smoking crack again on video?
Wait, again?
Yeah. That Rob Ford guy, they caught him again smoking crack in his sister's basement. There's a video of it.
I'm kind of starting to like him.
He's taking a leave from office. Like he didn't want the video out there. At first I thought it was a publicity stunt, but he's like had to leave office again.
Yeah.
But
here's the thing, though. He wasn't voted out the first time. Because apparently I talked about this on my own secondary podcast, I guess, the Lefty Show, and some Canadians clued me in that the guy is not only like one of those people that's running on the political platforms like drugs are bad, I gotta get them out of the hands of kids, yada yada yada. Apparently the guy's like really hardcore, no drugs, and you are a serious criminal.
Is he a Republican? Because that's how we handle gay issues here in the States.
Right.
Okay. To me, the new gay, like, you know how the old gay was like what do they call it when a guy is somewhat
Flamboyant.
Feminine? Flamboyant's right. It's not the one I was looking for though.
Effeminate.
Effeminate. That's the word I was looking for. Old gay, a guy effeminate, right? You know, kind of bent at the wrist, a little high-pitched voice, something of a lisp. That's what gay people were like in the 90s. What gay people are like now, they wear flannel. They talk about how much they hate gays. They often are Republicans serving in office. If you see a guy who's, butching it up, talking about, family rights, family values, he's probably gay.
He probably likes himself some penis.
He probably digs the cock because every time I see one of these Republicans, turns out they're gay.
It's as common as child molestation is in the Catholic Church. You just hear about it and you're like, yeah, apparently they all are. It's really weird. Like I keep waiting for like one of the big ones, like a president, to have an issue. I think Clinton's the only one to have an embarrassment like that.
Embarrassment? The embarrassment there was that she wasn't hot enough for a president.
Yeah, right?
Well, no, he cheated.
And then
I don't mean to make light of that.
And it was like, they picked all the gory details out. Like, he jerked off on her dress and like fucked her with a cigar. And it's like, come on, man, we don't need to know that he was fucking her with a cigar. Like, first of all, and then smoking them. He was smoking them. He was smoking them after like.
It started as like a real estate investment trust investigation. Until they just kept going, until they found out he put his cigar in a woman's vagina.
Yeah, and they needed that detail. It was in the paper, like word for word, like the whole thing. It was like 2 pages of the
internet was new at the time, and I remember websites were like the CNN would cover it, and they'd show the browser hitting refresh. Like as soon as this thing loads, we're gonna read it to you, and you'd see people hitting F5 on their browser on CNN.
Wow, it was ridiculous. It was a real witch hunt.
To me, the embarrassment was that he perjured himself when he was talking about it. Like,
well, that depends on what the definition of is.
Exactly. Now, I give him points for being that slick. Like,
yeah,
he's that much of a bad. Like, I am going to debate you
about the English language.
Yes, I am not having sex with that woman. Well, not right now, anyway. Right now, I'm talking to you.
It's clear that I'm not having sex with that woman.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, can't you see me? I'm fully clothed. Why are you asking me these questions?
Kennedy just had Marilyn Monroe killed. She just got out of line and just whack her. She's done.
Kennedy.
Kennedy was a good guy.
Was he? Or was he a guy who really benefited from dying early?
he was getting so much shit done. He got a lot of shit done.
Was he? Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't weigh in.
Cuban Missile Crisis,
That history.
civil rights, space program, landing on the moon. He didn't make it to it, but it was his program, and he's got that whole speech where he was talking about it. He really funded NASA. That's 3. There were lots of altercations with the Russians that he negotiated deals that were either advantageous to the United States or were at least fair. Like he wasn't losing ground when it came to moving missiles from this place and shifting the global superpowers' nuclear arsenal around.
Yeah, but then there was the Bay of Pigs because him and his brother read James Bond novels and they thought that's what the CIA was.
Like,
just go in
that was
there
a
and
real
get
problem.
'em.
Yeah, that was a real problem.
They're like, no, man, that's not how it works. You see, but to me, the intent almost means as much as the action because JFK, like, yeah, space programs, go to the moon, all that stuff. But it was born from we got to beat the Russians just in terms of a PR campaign, and we want to try to run their economy red hot because our economists say that'll just crush them. They'll just collapse under their own weight. And so it was nice that NASA got the funding, but does it? It was part of the space race was that's what they called it. It was the space race was part of the Cold War. It was like another event in the Cold War. We had missile programs, there were bomber programs, there were missile defense programs. There everything had an event in the Cold War, and then of course there were exhibition games that we played in Vietnam and Afghanistan. Pre-season.
Yeah. I can keep going all day. The Cold War was fascinating. And the players were evil on both sides, it seems. But in the end, we did run their economy red hot, and that doesn't work with your economy.
Yeah, not that kind of red. They didn't like it. I told you before the show I'm good for bad puns, and that's about it. Every once in a while I'll have a good pun, but the rest of them are just are cringeworthy puns.
Although I've got to say, like, if I were the makers of Civilization Revolution, or Civilization V, if I were Sid Meier, how are you gonna let Catherine the Great be the leader of the Russians? It's clearly Vladimir Putin. That guy is the most hardcore guy since Stalin. First of all, he looks the part, right? Mm. Like, he looks the part, and I believe he was a former intelligence agent or something. He looks like a KGB goon, like he's their version of James Bond. He's the Russian James Bond, and in retirement age.
I guess it's got to be like a naming rights thing, because he's got to sell a product.
That guy's really scary. That guy's scary. Whenever I see him speaking, I'm like, maybe this is the part where he's like, we just bombed Poland. Yeah. I like him. I mean, he is scary, and part of that is he's not afraid to give the United States the business. Like, when we do this, when we go and try to impose our will on other countries, we're the assholes. But the United States does it all over the damn joint, and all of a sudden that's cool, that's all right. But when we do it, but so I mean, that tells me it's like he's not scared to start a fucking war. He's over there fucking around in the Ukraine. I've been watching that thing, but it's gotten a little boring. I'm waiting on something to happen. It's like that meme. I'm like poking it with a stick. Do something.
The revolution was cool, but then it just kind of fizzled. And then the helicopters flying in, but then just stopped.
That poking it with the stick, do something, kind of segues into my next topic.
Oh, can I say one more thing about Civilization first?
Sure.
There's a game of... I mentioned it before the show, but there is a Game of Thrones mod.
Oh, sweet Jesus, please.
So we could play as Robb Stark, the King of the North, and we could have a pack of dire wolves. All right, fine, go ahead. Fine.
As if the plot didn't move slow enough in that show already. Now he's got Kyle at the helm. It's like 30 minutes between each dialogue.
Just make Kyle the White Walkers. It'll be like the show. You'll never see him.
You can play as the White Walkers, I think.
That's what Kyle would have to do. Goodness. Kyle.
Yeah.
Survival trip videos.
Oh yeah, they made me mad on the subreddit. I'm holding them back. They pissed me off. I was reading all this bullshit, and I was like, you think I'm gonna go through the effort of going outside and getting those memory cards out of the trunk of my car, bringing them in here, putting them on my PC, loading that up, editing, rendering, and uploading? I don't see you getting that out of me today. Hey, I'll upload them when I'm good and damn ready. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd like to see him from Kyle's perspective. I mean, I would. I
There
understand
aren't many
the
videos
question.
anyway because I dropped the camera in the water and ruined that fucking camera.
He
And
didn't
also,
drop it.
well, I got in the water with it in my pocket.
Yes.
Same thing. Kind of.
Yes. Yeah. The same effect.
Got my camera wet and ruined it. And so the video on that is like blinky. It looks like 8mm, how like going really slow. Like you can see like flashes between, like half the frames are going, I guess. And I'm like watching you shoot at a turtle, and like it's the picture's all fucked up. And then the rest are on my phone.
Oh no, is that footage lost? That would be terrible. How tragic.
And then the rest are on my phone. And the ones on my phone are maybe a little bit of shelter building, and then just like me driving and yelling about wings because he just had canceled on the trip like the night before, and I was really pissed off about it.
Right?
Yeah, before we met. So I'm just driving down the road like filming the highway in front of my car. I'm like, and just venting. I'm like, I don't really want to upload those. They're just mean. You know, it's how I felt that night, right as he did it, and we tried to talk him into it, be inspirational, and he just wasn't having it. And I was mad at that point, so I can't upload that. So you know, there's not much to upload anyway.
I want to see it though. Maybe you can send it to me.
I'm just yelling. It's the same stuff I usually say.
Yeah, I probably heard it.
I still want to see it. Yeah, I know. Yes.
Oh, and the problem with that is it's on my phone, so and the charging port on my phone is broken, so I use an external charger. I pop the fucking battery out and charge it in that.
Oh.
So I think the only way to get it out is like to save that video to a SIM card on my phone and then remove the SIM card from or a memory card from my phone and then put it in my PC. It's a whole issue. It's an undertaking.
Still want to see it.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Are you gonna
Kyle,
do it? You think, or should we just reset expectations and be like, you know what? You can stop hitting F5 now.
I would say there's a 60% chance it'll be done next week, and like a 78% chance it'll be done within 2 weeks, and a 100% chance that I will upload some fragment of the videos that I do have that are easily reachable by the end of May.
Now, of course, you know what you'll do, but I would have guessed the odds go the other way. I'd be like, if it happens in the next week, but like it's like there's a 40% chance it'll happen in the next week. If it doesn't, there's a 20% chance it'll
No,
happen
that's
in the
not how it works for
following
me.
week.
It'll get done.
If it doesn't happen in the next 2 weeks,
Now I'm a
move on.
procrastinator. I've got a list that just runs in the back of my head, and it's all gonna get done. And sometimes I just I'm like, all right, here we go. Let me pull my pants up and like really get to it. It's time to do all the stuff today. And there'll be a day where I'm just doing all the stuff that I procrastinated on for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
So
that day will come along in a month.
You got
or so.
Civ 5 like 36 hours ago, and you have like 20 hours played.
Yeah. Can you actually see how many hours I have played?
You can. I think I'm gonna.
I would be interested. It feels like at least 12 or 15.
I feel like I have 20, and I'm afraid I'm exaggerating.
I'm looking at my Steam. I've got
24 hours.
You have 24 hours played?
It says my activity on Steam is 24 hours in the last 2 weeks, and this is I installed Steam in the last 2 weeks. I got Steam for the game.
Wow.
24.6 hours. I don't want to lose, you know. I feel like as long as I'm second, I'll be happy. But if I go out first, I'm going to be real upset. So I've been playing.
Oh, please! If I go out first, I'm the secret winner.
Such a bitch. It's going to be a 3-hour game.
I thought in your library it used to say like hours played or something like that.
Yeah, it does. If you click on it in your library, not that you open it, if you just do the one click, and it should say Sid Meier's Civilization 5 play. It says you've played. It should say you've played 12 hours, last played today on the screen on the Steam client.
Mine doesn't look like that at all.
Really?
It says status ready to play. Of course,
Yeah, that's what mine
the
says
meta
as well.
score last played. Maybe
Really?
if I'm clicking on my name now.
Are you in your library?
I was, yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Shucks, I really want to know how many hours I played. I guess I'm a Steam noob. Oh, wait a minute. There's a view in the right. I changed my view. Achievements. They do achievements totally wrong. They mean nothing. Oh, I've only played 14 hours.
Where do you go to do this?
So
Activity?
go to your library. You with me?
I am in my library.
In the top right, it'll say view, and click on the leftmost choice where it says detail view.
Oh, okay.
The top right of what?
Of the Steam client.
I see big picture. I see Kyle's account.
Does it say store, library, community, and then your gamer tag?
Yes.
Okay, click on library.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Single click Civ 5 and then click on view.
Okay.
How many achievement points do you have?
34 of 287.
Yeah, I have 15 and I have 14 hours played. I think I'll get a lot more achievements as soon as I finish this game.
Yeah, I've got 24 hours.
Jesus.
I played a solid night, so in my head that was 12 hours right there. And then what I play with you, like 6?
I honestly don't know. I had been playing before we played, and I played after we played. So it was all one big play session, so I don't really remember.
Oh. Well, anyway, I played 14 hours. I thought I had played more. I thought that night was going to end up
I
being
want to
more.
be playing right now, but I just know I couldn't carry on a conversation and play the game. It's
Yeah,
time gets time. People are probably thinking like, you played 24 hours. What the fuck? How do you don't you get bored? But like time just like melts away when I'm playing this game. What do you seem like you don't like it? But when I'm playing, like food will go cold in front of me. Like I'm absorbed into the game, and time just melt. Like an hour is nothing. Like I was like boiling some water, and I ran downstairs. I was like, I bet I can get a couple moves in before that water starts boiling. By the time I got back upstairs, the water was almost gone. I'm like, well, let's fucking start over now.
I like the game, I do, and I really like the Xbox version. I need to change the game so I play shorter rounds, because what I'm doing now, like, I'm not even sure. I think I'm like 75% done this game that I'm playing currently, and I don't know how it says only 14 hours. I played a full night in it. Maybe this game's been 14 hours and it didn't count our multiplayer. I'm confused.
It counted. I hope that's not true, because I'm still at 24.
I don't understand how it can only be 14, because I have like one 12-hour session alone, and then you add to it our session, and it seems
Maybe
like
it's because you
slow.
lost so much, they just took that away from you.
That's probably what it was. They're like, you know what, Woody? You're manually controlling your workers. We're not counting this shit.
So, would you be comfortable picking a civilization now, or should that be something we put some strategy into and think about for a couple days?
I think we should all go with random civs.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god, really? You gonna try and pick the most OP civilization in the game so that you
I
can
was going to
beat
try to
me?
familiarize myself with one and play with it so that my practice meant a bit more, yeah. I wasn't going to try to be... I wasn't going to use the Chinese or the Germans or, I don't know, anything like that. I wasn't going to use the Greeks or the Romans.
If there isn't an RTS version, we need to find the RTS version of Civ.
Well, we can I think we can adjust how much time a person has on their turns, like a clock. We can put a clock on everybody, I think, and make it like 30 seconds or a minute.
Now
or
we're talking.
I promise you, we can speed the game up so that
I want to speed the players up. The game was fine, but the players.
Yeah, this whole time, Kyle, when he's talking about speeding up the game and finding the RTS version, he's just lighting a fire under your ass.
Yeah, because you gotta see it, right? Like, here's what I am, right? Well, the way I play Civ, and it's probably not the best way, but I'm like, all right, we need to get some like happiness shit going. Build a temple, build a circus. All right, now this city over here needs to be more sciencey, and I'm not looking at like this skill tree of public school versus university or whatever. I'm just building something that does science shit. This thing needs some sort of a range weapon. I just grab whatever is a good one, or if the city's pretty weak at production, I might grab the second best one. And I'm just like making decisions on the fly. Go, go, go. Kyle is like checking out the tree. He's like, if
I'm picking my culture. Like
I research masonry, then masonry leads to this other thing, and then 2 moves down the road, it leads to a thing after that.
That's not even true. So about 1 in every 15 turns, a major decision comes up where you have to pick like a direction your culture is going to go in, and I'll be like, well, do I want the one that comes with the free settler and the free worker, or do I want the one that gives me a military advantage, or I want the one that gives me exploration advantage? And it took me a second because it was the first time we'd ever played the fucking game, and my screen was messed up, so I couldn't see the borders. Like the next game when I fixed the screen, I was like, holy shit, there's buttons up there. Woody had all those tabs and all that information. And he still didn't know what was going on. I was playing blind the whole fucking game. There were buttons I couldn't even use because they were off screen for me.
All right, we're a third of the people that you kill.
In Kyle's defense, with the he's talking about social policies, I think.
Yes.
You have to choose a few, and then you get the bonuses of choosing. You get an initial bonus for choosing the policy, and then there's little subsets of the policy tree. Mm-hmm. And you can choose those policies as you move on, but also once you finish the tree and get all of them, you get another bonus. You get an overlaying bonus, and so sometimes it's like, okay, well, I get this endgame bonus for finishing this tree, but on the way there, I get this, that, and this, and that doesn't really help me right now. This might help me more in this.
Yeah, there's some strategy, and there's decisions like that come up that if you just make them blindly, you're not going to win.
Maybe
and
we shouldn't lead PKA Let's Plays with a game as boring as Civ V.
Oh my god, it's not going to be that boring, because if we get arguing the whole fucking time, I will destroy you!
I'm bored right now.
Yeah, when we add in trash talk and just talking, I think there's going to be a lot of fun for people to have, which is why I would say long-form content in terms of videos, but yeah.
I think it would be great. We would do like a 3 or 4 hour session, we chop it into pieces, upload our points of view. It would be fucking great. And it doesn't cost anything, but 3 or 4 hours of playing a video game and a little bit of editing.
Kyle, it might be in your best interest to get Left 4 Dead 2, just in case.
Oh my god.
Just in case Woody puts his foot down.
No, what I said when I agreed to hook up my PC and go through all the trauma of that.
The trauma.
The trauma. Oh my god.
What I agreed to was that I'll
buy a DVI cable for his monitor.
I said, I'll do this PKA Plays thing, I'll get all my shit in order, but I want the first game to be Civilization. Everybody was like, yeah, cool. Now it's go time.
I don't remember agreeing to that.
Yeah, I don't remember agreeing to that either.
I think you're just making that up.
I remember saying that. That's close enough for me.
You may remember thinking it.
Well, I've got the game now, and we're playing Civilization.
All right. Well, then I'll buy and gift you Left 4 Dead 2.
I'm not going to force you to play as Rob Stark or anything, but we've got to play some Civilization.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan. It's just I will promise you I will try to.
A game that he enjoys so much, he's played 14 hours in the last 2 days.
Well, how about we set some ground rules? How about we set things that we have to automate? You have to automate your workers, and scouts. I don't know. You have to automate your scouts instead of early in game. Although I kind of like that because you got to go find. There's things you can find that give you really nice early on bonuses. But there are things rules that we can make up that would apply us.
I think we just throw the timer on it and it would fix it. You could throw like a 60-second timer. I don't take turns.
It keeps growing. Shrink it, baby. Make it 15 seconds.
Woody, late in advance in the game when you've got armies in like 5 cities, the minute's not good enough. Like that minute is full of stuff. And here's the thing, Woody. The way it works, unless you and I are directly militarily opposed, like I'm shooting your guys and you're shooting my guys, we take our turns simultaneously.
Yeah, and then I start.
So it's not like you actually. It's not like you have to wait a minute doing nothing. You get to do everything that you need to do late in game, which is going to take you a fucking minute, and then the next turn will start. Everybody will need a minute late in game. At least. It's not going to be slow pace. We'll do some kind of a lightning round that we can do fast. One of the ones maybe where you don't start a civilization, but you start with a civilization at an advanced point, and you make them fight. If that's what you really want to do.
I would like that. And you know what? If we start out with something that's already advanced where we're already going, and then people like us playing a game like this, then we could always revisit it and just do one where we start from scratch.
Yeah, there's a Confederate War one. I don't know if you could get multiple. I think it's just 1v1, but there's multiple scenarios like that where you play the United States Confederate War, North versus South, and when it starts, you've already got all the things that were present in like 1861. So all the armies and the bases and the cities, etc. But there's lots of scenarios like that we could play out with 2 people, 3 people, 4. We get Hope to play. That'd be fun.
Yes, yeah, Hope plays.
Or we could involve Chiz.
Yeah. The thing about Civilization is it's like
Does he play?
9 or 12 player.
I think he played it.
We could run teams. We could run like me, you, and Woody versus Hope, Chiz, and some unknown third.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we would be strategizing and sharing what we
Falling
know.
the hapless, as I like to call it. Just destroy him.
I think that would be fun if it were like a 3 versus 3.
Is there a way we could play on a small map?
Yeah.
The 3 of us with an AI Civ and city states.
Yes, and do like a free for all.
I like the team idea. That might speed up the rounds too.
I don't know. Let us know what you think. I want a whole thing on the PK subreddit because there's somebody that's really into Civ 5 that's listening to this right now.
I want Hope to play. I think that'd be fun.
I do too.
Hope plays this game on her.
We
She
could
has
do a
more time than anyone on this call
I
in
don't
Civ 5.
I don't want to be beaten by Hope.
We could do a free for all that
We could put her on your
involved,
team.
We could get a bunch of people involved and do a free for all. It could be the 3 of us, Hope, Chiz, and
Like, for example, I was asking Hope about the impact of culture on happiness or something like that, and she knew exactly what the deal was.
I call Hope.
She plays. She has more time than anyone on this call. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely so. I was thinking about it last night. I was thinking about your daughter at about 3 a.m. I was like,
whoa.
I understand. Sometimes you shower. Thoughts pop into your head.
I was walking to the fridge, and her picture's on the fridge, and I was like,
wait, is it really?
Yeah. It's the Christmas card.
Oh, okay.
What's on my fridge right now? It's a picture of Wings of Redemption with a fucking cow. It's that poster from the boot camp.
Uh-huh.
It's your family's Christmas card, and it's a letter that somebody from Activision wrote me. Anyway, saw your daughter, and I was like, I wonder if Hope could beat me at Civilization. That would be embarrassing. And then I went back downstairs at 3 in the morning and practiced some more. So I saw that scenario possibly coming up. I don't want to lose. I really don't. I take it so seriously when I lose. And occasionally in a game, like I'll have made like some huge military push. Like I've been researching and just building defensive units for like 4 hours, and now it's time. I have the technology I need to make artillery units or cannon units, whatever it may be, and it's time to go to war. And then I make as many of them as I think I'll need, and then that's all my cities can do, and then I send everything I've got, and then I just lose that battle. And it's like, well, the game's over now.
Dude, I'm having no trouble beating cities. I don't mean to insult you with this question.
I'm playing on King.
I'm probably not. I'm probably playing on whatever's default. But let me ask you this. You do know that you can control the attack in any order you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because that was a big breakthrough for me. Like early on, as I was first learning, it'd be like, all right, what do you want to do with your infantrymen? What do you want to do with your musketeers? What do you want to do with your artillery? And it's like, oh, no. Here's what you want to do. Pound with artillery, pound with artillery, pound with artillery, then maybe a tank, and then maybe like an infantryman, and they can take the city. Whereas if you brought your infantrymen in first, then the city heals between rounds, and you got issues.
Yeah, infantry, and they just don't do much damage to the city. You need ranged units. You got to use ranged units to.
Yeah, ranged units pound it down. I blast them with battleships if they're near a coast.
I like the privateer.
I don't have a privateer. I'm not sure if that's something that I have musketeers.
Privateer is a boat. It's like a pirate ship that goes and shoots the city and steals gold from it. I think it steals production too.
It might be something like the elephant versus the chariot thing, where Aztecs don't have them, but Warren just might not know yet.
Yeah, it might be.
Because I feel like I'd be advanced enough for that. I mean, I have fighter jets and stuff. So.
The enemy doesn't usually last long enough for them to get fighter jets. Or I quit way before it happens.
No, I have the fighter jets. I have the technology for fighter jets, but I've never seen a privateer. That was my point.
Oh, yeah. So you're not missing anything.
Yeah, so I think it maybe it's called something else.
Well, I definitely want to play. I definitely want to make some videos of it if possible.
All right.
But we should do some practice rounds. Like we should.
Oh,
we should.
God.
Okay, well,
Use it as a sleep aid. Woody.
I'll just
There you
leave
go.
it at this. I'll be on Steam tonight. If anybody wants to play some Civilization, I guess I'll just play by myself again.
I think I'm working. I want to make a YouTube video after PKA, and then I've got the weekend. And I do.
I'm talking about like midnight.
I
I
want
might
to
be
play
drunk.
with
I don't
Hope.
know.
I want to evaluate her skill level.
I really don't want to get my ass handed to me by your daughter. Woody,
By,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
She's almost 15.
She's on the
Yeah, I was gonna
robotics
say,
team.
she's
She's
almost
very
15.
clearly really, really smart. And it's just like she knows this game inside and out.
Hey, I'm gonna have to read the Civilopedia.
She'll turn 15 next month, and dude, it's a weird thing, man. Like, so, all right, I'm making a short story long. I asked for feedback Friday questions yesterday, and someone was like asking about the house update. And one of the things about the house update is that it makes me kind of realize like what our needs in a house are. And the fact is, Hope's 15, right? She'll probably be going away to college in 3 years. And it feels bad that this ride is almost over. And she's 12-year-old Hope was kind of a pill sometimes, right? 15-year-old Hope is amazing. You're lucky just to be in the same room as her. She is a really cool kid. She did her musical last weekend. She was in their high school did a musical. She killed it. She killed it. Her acting was amazing. Her singing was on point. Like anyone who was in that room recognized she stole the show. And Hope is really, really cool. And she's also, like, you know, you figure she moves out at 18 to go to college, and she's about 15 now. It's like, wow, this ride's almost done. And the guy who asked about, you know, our house shopping sort of, you know, I don't want to say woke me up to it. I knew, but it made me think about it.
Well, you would get a different house just because she's not going to be living there as long? Or
Well,
you think you have different needs?
I think we don't need as big a house if you're not going to have 4 people in it. I mean, it gets down to the 3 of us, almost. I mean, she'd still have a room, but she doesn't occupy as much space if it's practically a guest room.
Yeah, just make it a nice guest room.
I mean, she was thinking about going to college locally, right? I mean, you're right.
That's on the table. We'll see. But
You support out-of-state schools?
say that again.
You support her going to an out-of-state school?
Well, you know, we have to see where she's accepted, right? Like, she wants to be. She's been influenced by her brother. She wants to be like a physical and occupational therapist, and she wants to help kids who are having developmental issues do better in life, and you know, so like, let's say for example that like she doesn't get into that program at UNC, but she does at Notre Dame or something like that, then, you know, in a situation like that, then yeah, I'd probably support an out-of-state school.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, anyway, so that's there. But for the short term, if anyone's wondering about the house shopping, we're waiting to see if Google Fiber rolls into this area. Like they've named a bunch of towns like that all surround me, and we want to move into a Google neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And finding a castle in a Google neighborhood is just a nightmare.
Wouldn't a castle be cool? Don't you want a castle?
Dude, I want one to look. What's the Lannisters' castle? What do they call it? It's Castle Rock.
We haven't seen that,
No,
right?
yeah,
Castle
I don't
Rock
think
is
we've
their.
seen it, but I saw a picture of it.
Okay.
I also like the one that the ant, the crazy ant that still got the 5-year-old breastfeeding. Lila or Lissa or something. She's got a cool castle.
I didn't realize. I think everyone. There's so many storylines in Game of Thrones that, even though I watched them all more than once, sometimes I miss stuff. Littlefinger's going to marry her. Did you know that?
Yeah,
You
he's going to be the
probably did.
lord of that place. I
Yeah,
guess, right?
which ties him to the Starks, right? Because she's a Stark.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes. Well, not a
gonna...
Stark. She's she was a Tully.
Oh, was she?
She was
I
a
thought she was
Tully,
the
and then she
sister
was
of. Oh, because she
Aaron,
was a
John
Tully.
Aaron. Yeah, she was born a Tully. She was married to an Aaron, John Aaron, who was the former Hand of the King before he was poisoned and then replaced by
And
Stark.
I can't think. Who's the dead Stark mom? She married Ned Stark.
Yeah, I know. I just
so
drew a
she was
blank.
born a Tully, and she married to become a Stark.
Catherine?
I think you're right.
Catherine Tully? That sounds right.
I'm not positive, but anyway, yeah. Game of Thrones talk.
Catelyn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Catelyn.
I think so.
Yeah,
it all
something like
sounds
that.
right
Okay.
when you say it. Lefty literally got up and left.
He's like fucking gone. He rolled on out of here.
I didn't see it. I was thinking.
You know, I bet if Lefty watched the show and he saw that they had that whole thing where they had Bran, who's handicapped, and he's on Hodor's back. If he got to see that, it would really inspire him, and he would have some for the show.
I was wondering where you were going with that for a while.
Yeah.
So
I think he needs to watch more.
Bran's a warg, and he can hop into animals and stuff, but he's also hopped into people. And there's a couple ways that, like... All right, so everyone's heard me say Game of Thrones moves too slowly for me. But I was thinking about some of the things that I want from Game of Thrones. I'm a show watcher, not a book reader, so there are a lot of things that you guys might know that I don't. But he's a warg, and he can also control people. I want Bran to start becoming like freaking Dr. Xavier and go to town on this, right? Make him make the king have weird decisions. Oh, can you control animals and stuff even at distance? Motherfucker, there's dragons in this show, right? I want him to control those dragons and like take out the Lannisters.
Dude, you know what's coming, right? Like
No.
what you want seems to me like it's coming. Like all right, so in the last episode, this is a last episode spoiler alert. You're gonna want to time out right now. But so they capture Hodor, and the guy stabbed him in the leg, and he said, "If I was as big as you, I'd be the king of the fucking world." And then I was like, Bran's totally gonna hop in Hodor and go ape shit. This is gonna be great. So I'm hoping at some point soon, in the next episode or the next episode, Bran goes into Hodor's mind again, like he did before, but he grabs like a giant battle axe and starts slicing people in half. That's what I want. I want him to kill all those raping mutineers in Hodor and just crush them.
That would be a cool like lead-in. That's something that I want to happen too. I don't know how to say.
In case you haven't noticed, all the characters kind of spread out, and now they're kind of starting to come back together. There's about to be a convergence of a lot of characters again. Jon Snow is heading toward those mutineers. His brother's already there, with Hodor and crew. He's bringing with him the guy who cut off Jaime Lannister's hand. Meanwhile, Littlefinger is taking one of the daughters to her aunt, and the Hound is taking the other one there. And he's also going to marry the aunt. And then you've got Theon, who's about to head north with that guy who cut his dick off. They're heading up north, looking for Jon Snow and the other guys. They're about to converge again.
You know what
There's
hasn't
stuff
happened?
happening.
The
What?
last time we saw Reek's sister, Theon, Reek, whatever, his sister, she said she was going to grab like 50 of her best men and free him.
It's the storyline I was most excited about for the fourth season.
It was like the cliffhanger for at the end of the third season.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to grab the 50 best killers in the Iron Isles, and I'm going to take the fastest ship in our fleet, and I'm going to march on the Dread Fort, and I'm going to go get my little brother back.
Yeah,
It
and
was
then
like,
4
yeah,
episodes
that's
into the
gonna be
next year,
awesome.
we haven't seen her.
Maybe she'll totally les out on some chicks along the way, too, and it'll be a good episode.
Maybe she'll do Reek. She got started with that already.
Oh, that's terrible. He doesn't have a
what?
penis.
Are you new to Game of Thrones?
That wouldn't happen, though. That wouldn't not. What would she do with his, hole? I don't even know what he's got down there now.
Wait, you almost said holes. He's got a hole down there now?
Yeah, I just imagine a big gash.
Is that how it works?
I don't know. I don't know what's left over after they cut it off.
I thought they just cut part of it off.
I think they cut the whole thing off.
I guess it's... So I knew that he was going to be Reek last year, right? Because I went to the Game of Thrones subreddit, and I called a spoiler, which is my own fault. And it was even marked a spoiler, but I couldn't resist. So they said that, he runs around, and they pretty much describe what Reek is. I don't know if he ever leaves his Reek state. Or if he's just perma-reek.
I can't believe he didn't cut that guy's throat. I'd have totally cut that guy's throat.
Yep. Do we need a new topic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is the most hated person on Earth right now?
On Earth.
On Earth.
I don't know, because I mean, there are a lot of Chinese people, and they might be upset at some things. Because I want to be like, well, Donald Sterling, but Chinese people give less than a fuck about Donald Sterling.
Yep.
They've got their own problems going on.
I don't know, maybe Barack Obama?
Obama was my pick too, at least one of my picks, because you have to be really well known, and he's the leader of the free world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, mostly.
I mean,
my guess would be Justin Bieber. Probably.
If you had to pick a leader of the free world, I mean, I think you'd pick Obama.
Oh, I meant mostly free.
Oh, I understand. I'm like, granted, he doesn't lead everyone directly, but there's no one else who competes for that title, I don't think.
I think that's what we should switch to, like an emperor situation. That works so much better in Civilization. I wouldn't want to have to go before a bunch of people and then get them to vote on things. If I'm going to build a library, I'm going to build a fucking library.
That's what Bush said. He's like, if this wasn't a democracy, this job would be a lot easier.
It's true.
Everyone railed on him for it, but I can kind of see where he's coming from. Obama? Kim Jong-un?
That's the grandfather of the current leader.
Oh, well, I don't. Kim Jong-il?
Oh, wait. Kim Il-'s son.
No, I think it's Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, it's Kim Jong-un.
Did I have it right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought, tossing him out there. Do the Chinese hate him?
No, they love him. Well, they don't love him, but they do support him. They
The
usually
North
back
Korea
his play.
leader? Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they got squirrely on him with that whole, like, I'm going to launch a nuke and totally destabilize a region and China's
Yeah,
like,
they'll make statements like, we don't go along with that thing they said. But
we don't
we
co-sign
support
that."
them in the region and all their other endeavors. It's like one of those modes. He's like, whoa, they went a little too crazy with that. They said something about eating people's faces. We're not up for that, but we're still down with the whole North Korea thing. It was like one of those statements.
Oh, okay.
But they're scary. They said something. They're always threatening to test some more nuclear weapons, and it's like, I don't know why everybody cares. Let them test them.
Nancy Grace?
That's one less they've got.
Doesn't everyone hate Nancy Grace?
Man, they must not. People watch that ridiculous shit.
God.
What a horrible person. She's one of my most hated, but she's great for memes. I mean, when you see them post like one of her quotes by her face, you're just like, wow, and people watch this and believe it.
They should attack her accuracy more often. That's what I'd like to see. Like, I just want everything she says going forward to be discredited based on the stuff she said in the past. She'll completely, pick a side in a case and turn out to be wrong. But she's like, look, I'm an attorney and I know how these things work and this is what you can expect and this is how it is. And then as everything unfolds, you're like, whoa, you were totally wrong on that. I've said it before. The states that I exist in most often are either correct or don't know, right? It sounds arrogant to say that I'm not wrong very often, but it's not because I'm so smart or so knowledgeable. It's because that if I'm not, I don't assume I'm right. Nancy Grace doesn't do that. She doesn't follow that simple rule. The states that she exists in most often are right and wrong, and there's never a don't know. And for that, I don't like her.
I really hate a couple things she does. Whenever there's a missing white girl, she's all over that shit.
Uh-huh.
I'm tired of that. It feels like she's a monster. Like, it feels like if her ratings were low enough and if she needed the money, she would totally kidnap some little white girl and start reporting on it. Be like she'd have the scoop. An 8-year-old girl disappeared from this elementary school 5 minutes ago. No one seems to know where she is. And she's in the fucking trunk of Nancy Grace's car. And then she's super inaccurate about marijuana.
Yes.
They're just blatant. It's cool if you don't think that marijuana could ever be any kind of medicine. That's not an outrageous opinion. Some people just don't think it is. But nobody in their right mind thinks that people are getting hopped up on marijuana and then strangling babies and robbing people and stabbing people and getting crazy violent. Marijuana is the kind of drug that dulls people down and lets them relax and puts them to fucking sleep.
It's a depressant. It it's a mellowing thing. It's I mean, I'm no marijuana expert, but I swear I know enough to know that you're right about that. Like no one gets hopped up on marijuana and goes on a homicidal rage.
The phrase itself is it's like
hopped
up on marijuana. That you might
it sounds ridiculous, right?
No one gets hopped up on marijuana. It's counterintuitive. It's like getting hopped up on like
Valium
sleep medicine. Yeah.
You're right. I'm hopped up on melatonin right now.
Yeah. You know that turkey, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, right. I'm hopped up on milk and turkey. Here we go.
Yeah, and she talks about marijuana addiction, and the studies show that 10% of people are susceptible to marijuana addiction. But it's not the kind where you're out there you never heard anybody sucking dick for marijuana, or like
Boo
selling
this
all
man.
or like selling all their the shit out of their apartment for marijuana, like methamphetamine. That's the drug that she's taking the things that methamphetamine do and attributing them to marijuana, like line by line.
That's so funny. You never hear of anyone sucking dick for marijuana. My high school days would be so different if people did that.
Right?
Woody would be the one growing pot in his closet.
Oh, it's going everywhere.
He's like, wait, I can get blowjobs for growing this plant?
Yeah, that should be the standard currency.
Farmer Woody.
Absolutely. But yeah, when she says stuff like that, I feel like it's so wrong that it's comical, but then you're like, wait, but she has an audience. Maybe she's like,
that's the issue.
She is the opposite. She is the antithesis of Cosmos. Her show is like Cosmos is meant to like uncover truth and shed light on current science and what's true and what's right and reasonable. And she's like the opposite of that. It's like garbage television where it's like some Roman spectacle. Like I keep expecting a lion to come out and eat one of those bitch ass prosecuting attorneys she has come on as hosts and just blood to go everywhere. It's just a real shit show. I remember my mother used to watch it when I was like, I don't know, 18 or 19 or something, and just I remember it was during like the Natalie Holloway thing, whenever that girl went missing in Aruba, like blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who like decided to go off with all these local guys, like the biggest dumbass of all time, and of course she got murdered by the Vandersloot guy, and she covered that relentlessly for like 3 years or something, and it was over. It was over. Like years passed, and she was just profiting off that little girl's death.
How much of that do you think that is she just saying for shock value, or is she just that?
I heard her
dumb or wrong.
I saw an excerpt that was on Reddit one time, and she was having like a conversation with this really overweight guy who happened to be speaking pro marijuana, and she said something about how marijuana gets people like crazy and hyped up and they're running around. He's like, ma'am, look at me. Do I look like I'm doing a lot of running around? Do I look like... He's like, every major scientific institute on the planet concurs with our studies here, and she's just like, listen here, Tom, and just like that pointing her finger and just being a real cunt. Just being a real cunt, because that's what she is.
God, I love how he just the C, the emphasis that Kyle puts on the K.
Yeah, that's how the Klingons would call her a cunt. She's a cunt. She's a total cunt. Just one of the worst people on television.
I live stream with this guy, Ann Marchie, and every time I talk to him, he's now pronouncing things like where.
Good. Yeah. Look in the dick. Dude, I looked it up. I've looked in the dictionary. There are 2 acceptable ways to pronounce the WH sound.
Is that true?
Yes. You can pronounce the H. It's totally acceptable.
I'm going to go to dictionary.com.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm not saying... This is me existing in that state of I don't know.
But it's just... You know what you're doing and you do it anyway.
All right, so I'm going to look up... Where? It's a pretty good word. Look at that! It's there! He's totally right!
Yep.
Dude! I didn't expect this!
I don't like being wrong about things. I wouldn't pronounce... If I had looked it up and it was any other way, I'd have said white. I'd have said whipped cream.
I'm going to look up...
I don't have a lisp. I'm not dumb. Like, I think... I think where are you going is the correct way to pronounce it.
Look at this! White is in here!
Yeah, all of the words are.
What?
But yeah, all of them. I
I'm
guess.
so shocked. I thought for sure this was some sort of hillbilly Georgia thing all this time.
No, it's some sort of illiterate person kind of thing.
White. Where? Oh, I need more words.
When?
Whence? When? Yeah, when?
When?
Whence?
When's in there?
Do
They're
whip.
all in there.
To whip.
Wait, how are you spelling these?
You don't know how to spell whip and when and where?
Oh no, but I just know like, are they showing like the phonetic spelling of?
Oh, I thought you were looking
Yeah,
at them
there's
with
like
me.
a line over the U.
The hua.
I can even get you
Or
guys
something
won't
like
hear it,
that.
but there's a little
There's a symbol that
Whip.
animates what's going on here. Oh yeah, and there's they spell it both
Oh.
ways. In the phonetic spelling, it's HWIP. The first one is.
yeah.
I want to say that's alphabetical order. Whip. So don't be going all crazy with the am I raised the number one way. Whip. I don't know why I did a southern accent. Whip.
I don't either.
Whip.
But yeah, if it's a WH word, it's pronounced H. It's pronounced the other way. It's
all this time, like again, I didn't speak up, but I thought it was a local thing. Like people sometimes get on my accent. By and large, I feel like my accent is sort of that like a generic American accent. If you're from Colorado or California or Montana or whatever, there's this sort of generally accepted U.S. accent, and that's the one that I have. But every so often, there's little things like mittens. The words mitten, the gloves, without the fingers. I pretty much skip over those T's altogether. Right? They're just not in my world. And if I say water, there's like the same thing. It's like WADER. There's a couple little things here and there where I drop a letter, and I leave out R's now and then.
I never say want to. Do you want to? I always say do you wanna.
Huh.
And I always write it as well. And wanna isn't a word. I'm aware that wanna isn't a word, but I write it.
But I thought that Kyle's local thing was like totally just a local thing, and
No, my parents don't sound like that. That's me. That's just the way I've chosen.
I'm in shock that where is the thing?
Yeah, well, don't be. It's right. I've been trying to teach you moots for years.
Well, where is the thing also? Yeah, but we were taught that the H was silent. I didn't know that you could also stick it in the front. That's what he said.
Whip.
Most hated person on Earth. Are we done with this topic? Did we come up with a winner?
I couldn't really come up with. It would be hard. I bet it's some like Chinese politician we've never heard of, or some Indian dictator, or some Indian crime lord, or something like something weird like that. But if you want to talk about my most hated person, like if one person that I just look at and I just think that's a shitty person, he should not be alive. Nancy Grace honestly would be in the top 10 for sure. She's just such a scumbag cunt. But
Nice emphasis. Well done.
I don't know. I
I
guess
still.
it would be that North Korean leader guy, not because of what you see him do on camera, but because of the way his country is and because the way those people are in starvation. I know they just another head would probably just pop up to replace him, but I mean you're rolling the dice every time. It can't get any worse than the guy who's setting off nukes and starving his people. Let's try another one.
If I had a most hated person in my head right now, it'd probably be people who like attack my family. But if I wanted to kill someone and do some global good, I feel like Rupert Murdoch would be a good pick.
Why do you say that?
Well, the U.S. is still, I think, the most powerful country on Earth. And this is a guy, not from the U.S., who intentionally misleads and misinforms the U.S. people. During the height of the Iraq War, you had something like 96% of Fox News viewers thinking that they were behind 9/11. You like that linking, that pairing, and even now, they are very much a propaganda wing of the Republicans, and not with good intentions, right? Like you say, MSNBC is the equivalent, and I don't mean to be double standard here, but I feel like their intentions are good, whereas on the Republican side,
Hang on. I'm with you 100% mostly.
Uh-huh.
I used to think the opposite about you. I used to think that the Republicans had some good intentions, and they were just going about it in the wrong way. And it was the intentions from each side that really differed. But I found out I'm wrong. They're both just evil people. Both sides. And both of them are playing really, really dirty to really bad ends. And it's a good thing they're both there because they kind of keep each other balanced most of the time. But they're both evil. They're both evil.
You're probably
they don't represent
right.
us
There
at all.
sure is a lot of freaking evil in there, and you know,
But I still believe
but
that
like-
Fox News is as conservative as MSNBC is liberal, and CNN is right there in the middle, maybe leaning a bit liberal.
CNN isn't even in the building. They're out looking for MH370. They don't even care about politics anymore. It's like, where's
Yeah,
this
they can
plane?
get a little entertaining as well.
yeah, I don't know. I do.
You want
know.
accurate news? Go to the Weather Channel.
Where do you get accurate news now?
The fucking Weather Channel. It's the only place you can go. I swear to God, they'll tell you the truth about what temperature it is because you can put the thermometer and say, "No, it's not, motherfucker. I'm picking somebody new." But CNN can lie to your face and just make things up. And there have been tons of stories that have been read that are just factually inaccurate, complete fabrications and lies. And they don't run a retraction. They don't stop the show during prime time and alert the public, "Hey, we fucked up." They just keep rolling with it. Just misinformation.
And
by
I used to
mass
think.
media.
I'm sorry, I didn't wait long enough. I used to think that CNN was the gold standard. Like if you were to go back 10 years. But do you remember when during the Boston bombing stuff, CNN was like reporting stuff that they didn't actually see happen?
Yes.
That's embarrassing.
I followed that really closely.
Piers Morgan, right, for the next whatever months and months and months was pretty much just spouting out his anti-gun opinion. And the problem I have with that is just like the problem I have with Fox. They're like, "Oh, no, our news is actually very accurate and unbiased." It's just that the Fox News channel only picks 1 hour a day in which we define this as news. Well, CNN did the same thing with Piers Morgan. This guy was on a 24/7 mission to get guns out of the hands of Americans. And it's like, but you're a news channel. You can't have this much opinion in a news channel if you still want to be taken seriously.
And I must say, he lost, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Dude. Guns haven't changed.
He lost.
He lost his job.
Lost. He lost his job. Gun rights are expanding. Did you know, Woody, that now in the state of Georgia,
yeah, I know. Go on,
there's
I'm sorry.
not too many places I can't go with a fucking submachine gun under my coat these days.
So Jon Stewart has been a submachine
I
gun.
can go into a school. No, totally can. It's concealed weapon. Got the license for that. Got the license.
Well,
for
you're
the
in a
SMG.
special case with the fully auto stuff.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. In my case, there aren't many places I am not legally allowed to walk into with a submachine gun under my coat. I could go to the airport. In the airport. Can't go through security, but I can walk around the airport. I can check in. I can go to the school, go to church, go to most government buildings with my machine gun.
I'm not sure you're right about the government buildings.
I think I can go in the post office.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they need
Probably the
guns.
worst place.
They would welcome me there. Thank God you're here. Are you responding to the shooting? No, I just want to mail some stuff.
Yeah. We had this knife we're giving away.
The third one this week.
Is there anyone here that
There
needs
was a shooting. Yeah, there was a shooting in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is 30 minutes from where I'm currently sitting. The other day, these are PKA facts, so I apologize if I'm wrong about this, but I think it was a shipping place like FedEx. I want to say it was FedEx, and I think he shot 7 or 8 people. They may have died.
Oh, I remember that. I heard that story. So Jon Stewart was doing this thing about the new gun laws in Georgia. And
Shit.
yeah, it's funny because I feel like he makes his points really clever, and even if you're disagreeing with him like I am,
It's gonna be funny. Yeah.
It's funny and it's hard to
He's
disagree.
going to show me his side of why that is stupid, and he's going to make it really fun and enjoyable to watch. And I'm going to have, I'm going to be, it's going to make me think about it.
He's like, "Why do you need guns in church?" And I'm like, it's difficult to explain the other side of it. The other side of it, like in my head, goes something like this: like you need to understand there is a group of America who considers like wallet, keys, cell phone, and gun to be their pocket items, and it's like an ordeal sort of to be like, all right, let's see, I'm gonna hop into the post office, so I'll take my gun out and put it in the center console of the glove box while I go in there and pop back. And the only people that are doing that,
it's easy to forget.
It's easy to forget, right? So that's an issue. But the other part is like it does nothing to prevent crime, right? Zero. Like if you think putting a rule that says no gun in the post office is going to stop post office shootings, then you're being really silly, right? That's not the case. So the same is true with schools, right? Like you can't have a gun on school grounds. So technically, like if you keep one in your truck and you drop your kid off at carpool, you're breaking the law there. That's a silly law, right? Like you should be able to do that. And heck, even if I carried a gun into the school building, like that sign on the door stops 0 school shootings. None. It doesn't do anything.
I would want if a parent were visiting, I would prefer him to be armed rather than not armed, because if something goes down, he could maybe shoot the kid who's causing the problem. I want more guns in schools. There should be gun classes in school. You should be able to take like rifle classes.
It sounds crazy, right? And people say like shooting. No guns in schools is a common sense law, isn't it? Why not? But it's like no.
I would like it if they were a shooting team and they were like walking around the high school with guns in their holsters. like these were like the Banks County snipers. They were walking to class with rifles over their shoulders.
Here's where common sense laws
at that school
work for me. I feel like if you're under 18 or under 21 or something like that, maybe you're not ready to concealed carry yet, right? You shouldn't be dealing with high school bullies by packing heat, I think.
There would be many high school bullies. They'd all get shot.
I hear you. What was the other thing? In Georgia, you can carry guns into the bar, but I think that drinking and shooting should be still not a good thing, right? In North Carolina,
the owner has to agree to it, right?
Say again?
I think the owner can like put up a sign in their bar that says no guns.
Right. Well, that's true in North Carolina. That's true with every building. But I was going to say in North Carolina, you can't bring a gun in a bar, which I'm not sure I like that rule, but you can't drink and while you're concealed carrying. I do like that rule. I think when concealed carry became popular, that's
a better rule.
In 20 years ago, I'm making this up, PKA stats, but 20 years ago, you couldn't conceal carry like you can now. It was a really big deal. Like it was super hard. You pretty much had to be a cop or something to concealed carry. And then when this stuff became legal, people thought there were going to be shootouts in every parking lot. People thought that, like where the two guys go for the same spot, they thought they'd resolve that like in the old West style. There were predictions of shooting and rampages, and all these guns in the country were going to cause tons of gun violence. It turns out that that's not what happened, and crimes involving guns have just dropped off. I mean, compared to where they were in the 80s, it's like PKA stats again, but I think it's something like 20% of what it was. Like it's dropped by like 80%. The homicides in particular dropped by 50%, I think. I'm going off the top of my head. Gun crimes have been dropping and dropping and dropping in the U.S. And I know we still get these high-profile problems like the Boston Marathon, which was actually a bomb, but whatever.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Right? Yeah, it was actually a
worst
bomb.
Example ever.
But
like the FedEx shooting at Kennesaw the other day.
Yeah, but that was a shooting. But shootings are way down in the U.S., even though concealed carry is way up. And when Georgia enacts a law and says, "Hey, suddenly it's cool to carry guns in churches," it's not going to make for any more church shootings. No one's going to take out their gun and do it. We've been trending in this direction for 20 or 30 years now. No one's going to shoot the priest because they have a gun. It's not how it goes. So,
if you really wanted to shoot the priest, you were going to shoot the priest regardless of the no gun in the church thing. If the priest was shooting,
you're not worried about any trivial little gun laws. The way to do it.
Sorry about that.
And I hate that. I hate that question. Just something. I shouldn't say hate. I guess. I
hate,
find that
you said worse than hate.
No.
Lefty, the shit you said.
I hate it. Okay, so fine. I fucking hate it because it's so disingenuous. The idea of why do you need this? Why do you need guns in this, that, or the other thing? And it's just that's not the point.
You don't need it. It's not about necessity.
Right.
I got zombies here. This is one of them.
And why do I need this? Zombies. Because zombies is the fuck you answer in my head. I have it because I like it.
It's none of your fucking business. Every time. The answer is none of your fucking business at all. It doesn't pertain to you. It doesn't affect you in any way unless you keep pursuing this avenue. It's ridiculous. It's none of their business. That you should stay. I don't like one person worrying about why another person needs something. So there's a bunker and it's 50 feet underground. What's the big deal? That's where I like to spend my vacation time. That's where I play my Civilization. It's my bunker. It's none of your business.
I never say, why do you need so much horsepower? I don't think you should have it. You have way too much horsepower in your car. I think it's bullshit. Justify to me why your car has that much horsepower. No one says that. Everyone kind of gets like, oh, that guy's probably into a car like that. If you see a guy with a Camaro or Corvette or something, they think to themselves, he probably likes that car. That's why he has it. Yet with a gun, it's prove to me that you have a good reason for killing people.
Why do you want to kill people all the time? Why do you want to be able to kill people at a moment's notice? It's
I like guns. The reason I get them mostly is that I think that they're neat machines. I've said this before.
Are you gonna get that gun I sent you the other day?
I don't think so.
You need that gun.
It was a AR-15 with wooden furniture, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
furniture is what they call
the plastic.
All the the butt of the gun. Yeah. I could get one and show you. Be like, this is furniture. This here, I'll do that.
See if you can find the picture of the one I linked you to.
I'm sure I can. Was it over Skype? Or no, it was over.
It was over G-Talk. It just looked cool to me. I was it's one of the companies at the NRA show. I guess they make a wooden furnitured AR-15.
So wait, that's like one of the guns from Fallout New Vegas, right?
Actually, yeah, it's like that one.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I always liked that gun.
But with more wood, I think. I've God,
such a cool game. When are they going to announce Fallout 4? Hurry up.
Yeah,
I don't care about Call of Duty with Kevin Spacey. It's cool.
Oh, I want to talk about that next. But let me get a Sketty gun. I can't find the link.
I'm gonna I'm glad I got my PC going. I'll definitely get that on PC. Whatever the next Fallout or Elder Scrolls game is.
It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait.
I'm more looking forward to the Fallout than the Elder Scrolls game, definitely, because it's been so long with Fallout, and the new consoles, and it's gonna be much better. I'm really excited to see what direction they go. And I think it's gonna be around the Boston area.
That's gonna be cool. All right, so Woody's got a gun in his hand. Oh shit!
I like that one.
That is a cool looking machine. I always like M1911s. They just look cool. I don't even own a gun, but I was just like M1911. Something about the lines and the slight angles on it. It just looks cool.
I went crazy and forgot how to work the action on an AR-15 for a second. Not loaded, just so everybody knows. But it was like this. It was an AR-15, except this part, rather than being like a plastic telescoping type thing, was wooden, kind of like a deer hunter's rifle. And this part here, this is also called furniture, I think, and it was wooden. So it almost had like a deer hunter's look about it. And this stuff here was like that military sand camo stuff. Am I missing anything, Kyle?
I honestly don't remember what it looked like now. I just remember I thought it was cool.
Yeah. So it was like this, except that it had wooden parts on it.
I love AR-15s.
I do too.
I'm looking at that one. I'm like, that's a good one. I wish I had one of those. And I was like, yeah, I do have one of those.
You do have one of these. Yeah, yeah. You actually helped me pick this site.
Yeah. There was that creepy guy at the gun store that just kept chatting us up about anything and everything. I thought he was going to get in the truck and leave with us.
What are you guys doing now?
He turned it. He was like, yeah, I play Call of Duty online, and we should hook up and play together.
Can you guys see the Red Dot site? How cool is this?
I could for a little bit.
There you go. All right, stop. There you go. down.
When I turn it, it like turns. It's like we're doing it in a mirror.
Yeah.
Oh wow, so video games are actually relatively accurate about it. I always wondered
Yeah.
how realistic that was. Oh, cool.
I keep correcting in the wrong direction. I'm sorry.
It's hard to do.
So yeah, you can see why people like guns. Tell me this isn't neat,
That's pretty damn cool.
right? Like,
Take it apart, put it back together again.
I'm not that good with AR-15s.
Blindfolded and upside down.
Blindfolded.
No,
God
Last
damn it,
time Woody was
pal.
at my house, we were fiddling with an
yeah,
AK-47.
I'm trying to. When we were at your
had-
house, I was breaking down the AR-15 and an AK-47. We just did it like 100 times while watching Trailer Park Boys or something.
You guys are so cute together.
Oh, it was a great time.
Yeah, no, it would come back to me, but I'm afraid if I were to do it right now on camera, dude,
Yeah,
I'm
you
the
don't
same
wanna do
guy
it
who
right
forgot where the freaking action was for a
Yeah,
second.
you don't.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass myself.
But just think, if the zombie masses were, see that window over Woody's shoulder over there with the AC unit? If they were, he would be shooting out that window down the street, clearing the whole culvert,
I would.
saving the neighbors. Just then, when the LSD wore off, of course, we'd have a whole lot.
We'd have
More
a
to
lot of
talk
explaining to do.
Yeah. The SWAT team kept getting calls, but they were like, it's just Woody's place. They're saying he's going on a rampage. Those assholes.
Those are always false alarms.
Meanwhile, we're like 3 hours into a siege over at Woody's.
Yeah, that's right, Woody. You've got a built-in head start on a mass murder spree.
I do, yeah. The SWAT team totally writes off everything that happens at my house now. Oh, dude. So, we have an alarm system at our house, right? And it picks up everything, like all the doors, and then we have these sound things that pick up broken windows. And at first, I was worried that they didn't work that well, but like every now and again, someone in the house will drop a glass, and our alarm system goes off. It's like, totally works. You can't break glass in my house without the alarm going off. Anyway, there's a scam going on. And the company that installed our alarm system is like, look, we are not going house to house selling upgrades. If someone comes to your house and they're selling an upgrade, those are bad guys. And it's happening to people that have alarm systems right now. And they're basically doing it to get access to your house. They're going to come inside, and then once you let them in, bad things could happen. And here I am, right, sitting with like but dude, don't come here. You're making a huge mistake. Don't come here. They called, I guess, Jackie's phone and said, look, we're warning you. People are coming to house where you live and pretending to be from us. They have shirts with our logo on them. They have a clipboard that that we have like a sign in our front yard that says "protected by whatever," and it's just like I'm saying, man. Don't come here, or do if you want. I do.
Right, please.
Yeah. Make my
I
Sitting
day.
out on the porch, rocking in a rocking chair. Like,
Yeah.
I have been thinking out my zombie scenario plans
I'm gonna
since
put this away. I'll be right back.
what was it? Dawn of the Dead. What year was that? Like 2003, 2004?
Is that the funny one?
No, that's the one where they're in the shopping mall and they're shooting. They're sniping the celebrities. They shoot Jay Leno.
oh, right. The ones that they look like him. Yeah, it was 2004.
Yeah, that's still my favorite zombie movie. The 28 days later series is really good too, but that's my favorite standalone movie. It's really short, but it's good. And and those are the kind of zombies that I would want to face. Also, I feel like they're not so slow that it would be unrealistic for them to kind of take over, but they're not smart enough to be picking any locks or do anything weird like the George A. Romero zombies end up.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been thinking about that scenario since I was like 18 years old, so I'm just really ready for that to happen. So
All right, Kyle. Let me ask you. You're in your living room, right? The news is on, and it's that standard. They're reporting on some catastrophe. They're saying they're calling in the National Guard to clean up this mess or whatever the thing is, and then you see people with open sores, open wounds on their all over their bodies just start attacking people in the background, and then in the foreground, one comes up and attacks the reporter. So that's your start. Like, that's your starting point. What do you do? What's your next move?
I assemble the A-team. So there's a couple of guys that I would immediately call who have access to some very heavy firepower. And they have the keys to the store that has it, or they know where it is, or they know who to get in touch with to get whatever we need. So we're gonna assemble that group together and rendezvous at some place that we can think is defensible. And we'd have a couple of belt-fed machine guns and some grenades and a couple of law rockets probably. And I guess at that point we'd want to get some vehicles together and start gathering food and supplies and fortifying an area. But I think you'd want to do it like kind of, in the middle of nowhere, like where I am normally. There's not that many people around, so not that many zombies to kill. And I think at first in like outlying areas like that, unless it was like spread by the air and we just happen to be immune to it, if they have to bite you for you to become a zombie, it's gonna take a long time to get out to the boonies, right? Like that's something that starts in a major city like an epidemic, I would think.
Yeah. It takes a while to get out there, but
yeah, I'd want to fortify an area. I've got an area in mind that's on top of a hill that I've always thought that we could put some like phone poles in the ground all the way around it, make a big perimeter fence, maybe some sort of electrical aspect to it, lots of diesel generators. Have to get some solar panels.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose?
Oh, no, he came back. Okay.
Oh, I did find that picture, by the way. I linked it and showed the audience.
And no rescue missions. I don't think I would go after anybody who was like.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wait, what is this?
That's the gun that you showed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
It's cool.
Now that looks different from the gun you held up.
In what way?
The barrel looks longer.
It looks like a stainless steel barrel, and it's fluted.
What was that last thing you said? It's whatted?
Fluted.
Oh, okay.
That's when
it's the carving on the front of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess just maybe the handguard looks longer on this one than on your AR-15.
The part that's near the trigger, that whole action assembly, it should be pretty much identical.
It is.
And then the furniture, the stock that your shoulder goes on, and the barrel shroud that's up by the front, they're different.
Yeah, the gas block up there, it's piston driven. I think that's a direct impingement rifle you have. This is a really nice AR-15.
How much is it?
$1,400. I can get it a lot cheaper though, probably. I mean, maybe very cheap.
I see. One of the problems I have with guns is they're, in some ways, a complete waste of money.
Indeed.
Right? I have never defended myself from anything using a gun. Never. I have never. Wait, what?
That's why you don't need it.
Oh, there you go.
Woody, I have the mancation. I know the mancation. I know what we should do.
Please hunt pirates.
We should do something where you can use that rifle to kill stuff. We should go pig hunting.
Pig hunting?
You shoot them out of a helicopter with your rifle.
This sounds like an excellent idea.
Let's do it.
Shooting pigs from helicopters?
Yeah, we'll go to Texas, outside of Houston. There's a company called Vertex. They'll take you up. I don't remember how much it costs. I'd probably get it done for free if you'll make a video of it.
I'm in.
And you sit in an R2 Robinson 22 helicopter. It's a little helicopter.
Mm-hmm. The most dangerous helicopter on Earth. I'm familiar with them.
I love it. I'm a big fan of those.
Dude, I've been in them before, and every time I'm like, yeah, I get why this is the most crashed helicopter.
Exactly. That's what they always say.
This is like the go-kart version of a helicopter.
Yeah, it totally is. Really tiny helicopter, but if you've got a really good pilot, and this guy is the guy that works for this company. I think he was in Vietnam. He's an older guy. He's in his late 60s. He can fly that motherfucker sideways and backwards to track while the pigs are running away from you. And from your perspective, they're not even moving because he's matching their speed and distance perfectly. So you're moving at the exact same speed and direction as the pig, and he's got you down like 30 feet off the ground, even lower sometimes in these fields.
I will do
And-
this. Do we drive or
and-
fly? Probably fly.
Fly, then maybe rent a car.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Wait. Be a man about this. Fly, then rent a truck, right, Kyle? Back me up.
Actually, yeah, you would need a truck. Yeah, there's a field. Yeah, you got to go out in the wilderness a little bit. They bring the helicopter on a truck.
Nice.
That's
It just
how
gets
tiny the
better. We
helicopter
should
is.
totally
You just
do
pull
this. This
behind
is
the
a
truck.
great mancation idea.
You can, there's GoPros already on the helicopter. Like that's a service that they provide, so they take the footage for you.
Dude, I'm so down for this.
And you've got the perfect rifle for it, the AR-15.
I have a FN 2000 too. I think they'd both do the trick.
The FN would be better because deflecting bullets into the rotors was an issue.
Ah. Yeah, for people that don't know, the FN, after you shoot a bullet from almost every rifle, the casing kind of flies out the side if it's semi-auto. And the FN collects, is it 5 or 7? Do you happen to know?
5.27. Sometimes they don't. So,
Yeah.
I've seen them be kind of glitchy.
It like the first, it's because it's like a covert ops assault rifle, or people get upset if you say assault rifle. A semi-automatic sportsman rifle? I don't know.
Death machine.
Yeah, Death Machine I think works. FNG.
Hot lead delivery system.
Anyway, it collects the first like 7 or 5 shell casings, and then a door opens and they all pop out after that.
Yeah, it's a very futuristic looking rifle, and that's a really futuristic.
You want to see it?
Yeah, might as well.
I'd like to see it.
It's waterproof too. That's why that magazine is so hard to stuff up in there.
Mm.
And it'll only take those steel FN mags.
God, guns are so cool.
This is a nice rifle. I always wanted one, and there was one that had been sitting on the shelf of my local gun store for like a year. And dealer cost on one is about $1,600, I think.
Mhm.
And since it had been there so long, I offered him $1,300, and he took it.
Nice.
So I got a brand new FN FS 2000.
Let me double check. This guy's not loaded.
I'm really happy with the scope selection on that one.
All right, confirmed. Totally not loaded. Yeah, the scope on this one is cool too. This is what an FN 2000 looks like, and everyone that sees this scope likes it. It makes me feel good that Kyle likes it because undoubtedly, I think, the most knowledgeable gun guy I know. He knows some freaking military-only rare stuff, but this is what the FN 2000 looks like. Fits like that.
I like it because everybody wants to go for the same look, and it's like, why do you want to take something that's supposed to be like, Barbie for men? It's supposed to be like souping up a Honda Civic, and why do you always all want to make the same car? Like you should be trying to make a weird car, a funky car. Like it's as long as it's functional, and it can achieve a certain job that you want to do with it. It doesn't matter what it looks like, and that to me looks awesome.
Yeah,
It does look really cool.
A lot of people would put some kind of micro dot on it, or
like my AR.
yeah, or even smaller, like a really small reflex sight.
I like this thing. I'm trying to remember. See, I haven't been shooting enough. This thing I think has a red dot, and I don't know how to turn it on.
Oh, I was gonna say the bullets go out that one, the open end, Woody. Not even a gun
Thanks
guy.
for your help. Maybe I'm
Everybody
wrong.
makes those micro dot rifles and say that's the rifle they're going to defend themselves with. If I want to defend myself, I hope it's with a rifle more like what you've got, so they're at distance. I'm hoping the bad guys can't see me.
So this,
Yeah, but how
ahead.
accurate is that? Like out to what range? Effectively, I guess. Right?
Everybody
okay.
underestimates them. So
Well, I like
if
how
you're shooting if you're shooting at a guy who's wearing street clothes, I mean, 700 yards, you could probably still hit a person, but I wouldn't. But 600 is more correct on that rifle right there.
Okay.
But when a guy's if he's got any body armor at all, I don't know. At 700, I don't think it may not be deadly anymore.
I can't quite.
It's a 5.56 round. It's a really small bullet.
It looks like it's a little bit to your right. Right.
And calling the 5.56 round deadly is kind of a oxymoron anyway. It's not really deadly at any range. It's like pinpricks.
Really?
No.
With the ammo that the military uses. Full metal jacket ammo, it doesn't expand, it just goes straight through.
Oh,
That's why they train on the principle of double tapping. Because our gun's not powerful enough to kill somebody in one shot. We got to shoot them twice. And so they train to shoot twice.
Geneva
A lot of
Convention. Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, it does. When the special forces come together and they need like a special purpose round, like the 458 SOCOM, it's usually in response to a scenario where we had a live fire kind of thing go down, like in Mogadishu, where the 5.56 round wasn't doing much against those Mogadishu, fighters who were high on cot and like pissed off and starving and in a shitty situation. So they'd shoot these guys a couple times with their rifles, and the guys would just patch themselves up and keep going. So they came up with that 458 SOCOM round, which is enormously powerful.
So I feel the need to chime in here, and I'm not an expert, but the American military used to shoot a bigger round. Do you know what it used to be, Kyle? You might know off the top of your head.
The 308.
Was it the 308?
Well, the 30. It depends.
The 30-06 or something.
So the Grands are like 30-06.
Okay.
So it used to be 30-06.
We used to shoot the 30-06, and I think the Grand that he's talking about is a bolt action too. And did you say no?
No, it's not. It's the one that has the clip type magazine that pings when you shoot empty it.
Okay.
Like Bandit Brothers.
Yeah. All right, so I stand corrected on that. But this is something that I do know about. We used to we used to carry these big rounds, and I'll make up PKA stats here, but soldiers would be able to, say, carry 100 of them. And now we went to a smaller round, and now soldiers can carry like 200 of them. And somewhere along the way, the military did their analysis and was like, you know what? We can make like 7 people as effective as 12 used to be by carrying smaller rounds. They all kill people, especially if you hit in the right spot. And we can carry a lot more rounds. People can hold out in their holes a whole lot longer, just because, like, oh, do you want a big man stopper? Now you have 15 round clips instead of 30.
But think about how you just came to that decision. You came about it with math. That's something that a bureaucrat would come up with. They'd say, hey, wait a minute, I did the math here, and these soldiers add up a little better if we change the number on the bullet. But out in the field, even since Vietnam, it's been a big issue where guys don't go down.
Another thing, I think more guns have optics now than they did back in the day, right? It was all iron sights in Vietnam. Not all iron sights, obviously, but now I feel like optics have made their way onto more people's guns. Am I on target with this, Kyle?
Yes. Yeah.
And because of that, I think you're getting more penetration kills. You can see a guy duck from a window and he's right under it, right? You can shoot the guy through the building if you have a better round. You can shoot the guy from further if you have a better round. You can shoot the guy in more situations than you could. It might be time to step up the caliber because we've stepped up the optics. And,
And we're fighting in a lot of urban scenarios, it seems like, where there's a brick wall that needs shooting through.
Is there a NATO component to this, like some kind of treaty?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the standard NATO round.
Yeah. Oh, I always thought since
for
NATO was on it, it was like treaty bound.
No, it's a good idea to share rounds because you can share magazines, you can share rounds, you can share instead of everyone carrying their own stuff. If I have whatever, I think you can picture the rest of it yourself. If you're low and I'm not, now we're both okay.
Yeah, standardization is just smart when you're gonna be allies like that.
Yeah, I'll put this gun away.
All of the bad guy shit is like 7.62 by 39, just about, and all the good guy shit is 5.56, just about.
Yep. But the optics is the compelling argument for me. I feel like we can shoot from further and we can spot people behind cover better than we ever could before. So you might as well have a round that takes advantage of it.
If I'm going,
this is the thing. Let me put myself on the big screen.
Oh yeah.
This is where the bullets collect. There's a little door here. So if I shoot this gun, like the first couple bullets just like stack in here, and then once you get to, I forget if it's 5 or 7, this flips open, and
the empty
all
cartridges.
the bullets come out. I'm saying bullets. The empty cartridges come out there, the shells.
So wait, then where's the ignition of the round? The ignition occurs.
Back
That's
here.
a bullpup, so it happens behind his firing hand.
So the casing travels for a while before being stopped.
Yep.
And down a tube.
There's
It's
a tube
ejected and
here.
pushed down a tube.
And they kind of push, and then eventually they'll push this door open.
Oh.
And I'm thinking earlier in the show, I called a casing a shell, and someone's going to get me. Gun people?
Don't worry about it. There's a lot of that stuff that's synonymous. I don't understand why they're such pricks about it.
I feel like there's this I know something you don't know component about it. And
I'm always so whenever I'm a part of any kind of a community, I want to be so accepting of new people that it generates new people. You never want to, like, a guy who calls a magazine or a clip a magazine obviously is new to all of this, or he wouldn't be doing so, or he's a troll. In either case, the correct way to diffuse this whole problem is just to kindly correct him. But if you're a douchebag, you're just a douchebag.
yeah, I don't know. I fired my share of guns, and I own my share of guns. But, every now and then, I called a casing a shell, and someone's going to go bonkers over there.
Oh, it's like a shell, like it's only for
They're the same
artillery
thing in my
rounds, or...
So ammunition is composed of a lot of components. The bullet is the part that comes out of the barrel and hits stuff. The casing is the part that holds the powder, the bullet, and the primer. The primer is the part in the back that the firing pin hits that starts the ignition that lights the powder that sends the bullet down the barrel out the rifle. But once that's happened and the bullet has went down the barrel, the casing is ejected out in a semi-automatic gun, and it's a casing, or some people call it a shell. I never. That's not a word I used growing up. I always called it a casing because I did a lot of reloading myself. Or in the situation of a shotgun, it's called a hull when it's empty.
I would have called it.
I guess
a shell
Kyle for
gun.
president of the NRA is the decision we've come to.
You couldn't do worse. Like that guy, I wish the president of the NRA, instead of preaching to the choir and firing up the people who already are lined up with him and alienating the people that aren't, should do more of a common sense, like, conversion type speech. If the president of the NRA was saying things like, look, the stats are, even though guns and concealed carry has gotten more popular, these the weapons are down. The concealed carry license holders like me have a lower crime rate than policemen. That's a stat. It's not just a PKA stat. It's true. And if he would have pushed that stuff out there and be like, the gun laws that you're pushing for, they won't help. And if he gave a little bit every so often, maybe that would be a good thing. I don't know. So I want to put this away, but Kyle, how do you feel about mental health checks for gun owners?
How would you do that?
As you apply for your license, you have to prove that you've had one at some point.
At some point, like I could get a mental health last week. My wife could cheat on me today, and I'll still go buy that M16. Like, that doesn't work.
I hear you. Well, but
They're
on
going to
the
give me
other
like a
hand,
sobriety test at the gun store, or do I need to? They're going to give me some Freudian.
well, I
I
guess
just don't know how you'd implement it.
I'm not saying that the implementation would have no flaws whatsoever, but let's say you're buying a gun, but you have a history of homicidal thoughts, or you've see, but we have crime record checks already.
Yeah, who doesn't have homicidal thoughts? Somebody
Well,
tailgates you, like,
that was a-
fucking kill that guy.
That was a thing, right? Well, Woody talked about it. The idea of when he's just like driving down the highway, and it's like, what if I turned my wheel into this embankment right now?
Right.
And somebody linked it. They're called, I think, if I recall correctly, intrusive thoughts. It's just our brain, some part of our brain, just like, hey, there's this.
The French have a
Yeah.
word for it, but I don't remember it because it's French.
It kind of hits you sometimes like a bit of deja vu.
Yeah.
It's almost it's kind of like that. I've had that like hunting before. And be like, what if you just shot the dog? I'm like, no, don't shoot the dog. Don't shoot the fucking dog. He's your best friend.
Yeah.
Not Dak, though.
Dak especially.
Save the hammer.
So did you say save the ammo?
Yeah, get a hammer.
Oh, God. Oh.
Do you, how's your so for people that don't know, Kyle has this like trained attack guard dog type thing. His name is Dax, right?
Yeah.
And Dax at least used to hate Kyle. Kyle would walk in the room, Dax would go crazy, bark, 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 whatever.
He still does. The dog is I don't. It's a mixture of hate and fear, or he thinks I'm an intruder, and like I haven't done anything to him, and like I haven't even touched him in like a year, and he is just a real death machine. Really long, sharp, white teeth, fangs, really, and just a real ferocious, loud fucking bark. And he barks at me every day when I walk out to my car. Or every time he sees me, every time he comes into any sort of visual contact with me, or if he hears my voice, like I'll be around the other side of the house, like out on the porch, and I'll laugh, and he'll recognize my laugh, and he'll start barking angrily from the other side, way out of sight. He's a real cocksucker, and I'm not real sure why, but I wish he would attack me so that I could just end him. But I'm not gonna hurt a dog.
You used to be fond of him.
I used to, but then he turned on me.
No,
I don't know why.
I feel like he always turned on you, and you were like, Kyle's nice to dogs. Kyle's a dog lover. Jack was mean to Kyle, and Jack is my dog, and he's got the muzzle on and everything, and in Kyle's head, he's like, oh, let's just take that thing off, and Jack's like, oh, wait, that muzzle's a good idea.
At first, I was like that, because I'd never experienced a dog who was like he wanted to eat my lunch. Like, he saw me, and he was like, it's war. Let's do this now. You don't belong here. The only reason you'd be here is if you need a good ass kicking. So time to go. Like, that was totally like your dog's like viewpoint about me being in the living room. And like the whole family was there too. Like everybody that he could possibly need to protect, and the other dogs are there. And he's like the dominant male, and like, you're not doing anything. Hell, you're holding him back. It's time to kill. And I'm like, this is a scary, scary situation.
Oh, well, of course, Kyle was actually safe because he's muzzled.
Oh, of course. I knew he wasn't gonna get me, but I was hoping that I could warm up to him. So like throughout the time I was there, I would always say, "Hey, buddy, how's it going? Hey, like I could come near you now," and occasionally he'd be okay with it for like a step, and then he just like, just like anger, and he's got this muzzle, so he could only open his teeth maybe at like half an inch.
If an alarmed security guy comes to my house, Jackie used to do that with every salesman. Not with Jack, because Jack really will kill him. But our previous dogs were yellow labs, and they were big. Like I think Dakota at his peak weighed like 120 maybe, and it's a good sized dog, maybe less than that, maybe it was like 110. Anyway,
an enormous dog.
She would hold him by his collar, and by doing like holding him by his collar, it would make him sort of stand up, and he's just like right, like he's like 5 feet tall, and there's like a Mormon at the door.
Oh,
Jackie's like, you gotta go. And that's how we handle salesmen and stuff. So,
that's great.
It is great. Yeah, she's one for me.
Yeah, but I'm definitely afraid of your dog. I feel like, and I've told everybody this. I think I told my dad this. We were talking about your dogs the other day and how big they are. I'm like, yeah, he's got 2 of them. One of them's really nice, and she's cool and just enormous like a horse. But then the other one, he was just real intense. He didn't like me being there. I think if he had attacked me and no one was there, he would have killed me, because there's some dogs I look at, I'm like, if we got in a fight, I could probably eventually maybe like get my hand around this dog. Hands are better than than teeth in the long run. If I can ever get a good grip, I'm much more powerful. I could beat a dog's brains out basically if I ever got my hands on it and had a grip without him having a grip on me. Your dog would just kill me. Your dog, that's what getting eaten by a velociraptor must be like. Like he would just come in and rip me to shreds, and like he could easily go for my neck.
Yeah, I mean I think he's taller than we are.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah, he's a big dog. I mean, he's also a sweetheart. He sleeps with Colin, just not good with strangers.
Yeah, he's very defensive. It's a great dog to have. Like. As long as you lock him up when I come over. I'm so scared of that dog.
So Woody, was he hostile or odd around you, Jack? And did he warm up for a while once you got him, or did you get him as a puppy and so it just...
Yeah, no, he was friendly. Like you said, I got him as a puppy. You could hold him in one hand. And and we did everything we could to socialize him. We've had a trainer come over. We walk him outside. We had him stay at doggy daycare to socialize him with other animals. We brought him with other people. Like we did all the ideal dog owner type stuff that you should do, and still do it. We still walk him. We still do this. But he's just sort of by nature, he's got fear aggression, and when he's around new people, he doesn't. You take care of him.
Death machine.
He's a death machine. Yeah, he's a natural guard dog, I guess.
Yes, totally. I feel like he was just he really wanted to get me. It was I had never experienced that before. I hope maybe you think he'd remember me if I saw him again, or have I start with a clean slate?
I don't know.
I'm gonna bet on a clean slate.
You know what we haven't talked about yet? Call of Duty.
Kevin Spacey, House of
I
Cards.
like Kevin Spacey more than Call of Duty. Come on.
Am I crazy, or did it look like they might have used a new engine, or more modified than ever before? It moved in a different way. Players Halo jumped.
They had jetpacks, like some sort of booster jet that like helped them jump over.
So who made COD 3? Was it Treyarch?
Modern Warfare 3 was Infinity Ward. Black Ops 2 was Treyarch.
COD 3.
Actual COD 3.
Oh, that was Treyarch.
Yeah, Treyarch.
Yeah, so I remember COD 2 came out. I don't know anything about COD 1. Is that a PC game?
Call of Duty was Infinity Ward. Call of Duty 2 was Infinity Ward, if I remember correctly.
So COD 2 is where I first started. It's not even my first COD. My first COD was COD 4, but COD 2 is my oldest COD. Like, I played so much COD 4, got tired, bought COD 2 to see what it was up. And that was by Infinity Ward. COD 3, which I haven't played, was by Treyarch. And it's like the forgotten COD. Like, it's like Matrix 3 or something. Like, no, those don't exist. It stopped at 1. What'd you say?
It was terrible.
Did
COD
you play
3 was
it?
terrible.
Did it have multiplayer?
Yeah, me and Socrates got it. It was awful.
Yeah, it was like it
was kind of glitchy. There was like lots of issues where, like, I don't know, combat was weird, and the weapons were all. We didn't like it at all. And nobody played.
I mean, it's to this day. I bet you can find a COD 2 game, but COD 3 done. It's erased. It's the worst COD ever, and
it was up against some big expectations too, because COD 2 was an Xbox launch title. You know, they bundled it with Xboxes in some situations, and you know it was the game of the year that year, I think. And then they had to come out and follow that with Call of Duty 3, and it just sucked.
Yeah. So, and then I guess COD 4 came out, and that was great. A lot of people thought it was the peak of the series. I think they continue to get better, but I think I'm in the minority. And then Treyarch got their game on. Like World at War, I think was equivalent to COD 4. It was almost a reskinned COD 4. And after World at War, according to me, that's when they started either leapfrogging each other, or Treyarch became the better developer, compared to the other one. Like Modern Warfare 2 sucked. It was
Modern Warfare 2 was where their audience was huge, and it was this launch title, and it was like they started from scratch in a lot of ways, because everything was changing.
But it was so broken for 5. To me, COD is a 12-month game, and for 5 months it was broken.
It was broken. It was terrible in innumerable ways. Like, there's so many different bugs and glitches and flaws. I bet some of our audience wasn't playing Call of Duty back then, but there was a bug where basically, I won't go into the details, but basically, if anybody shot me, I would explode. I would explode, and I would kill any player within a room. If I'm in a room, everybody dies if you kill me. And it was a glitch where you were holding a rocket launcher and you couldn't put it down. It was basically a javelin, and it was ready to fire as soon as I died. So if you run up to people and stab them, sometimes they wouldn't shoot you because they'd fear the explosion. And
people would play. Essentially, it was only use me blade with the best. What is it called when you drop a grenade after you die? Martyrdom. With the best martyrdom ever. Right? It would be like a predator missile as martyrdom. And so, like, you're chasing me with a knife. I see your javelin on. I know what the deal is. I'm running for my life. But I can't kill you because that'll kill me too.
Yeah, you gotta throw like a stun grenade at him and run for it.
Yeah, I like this. It's only use me blade with martyrdom as a predator missile.
That's the explosive power of the javelin. It is a predator missile.
And that glitch was not even a big one. I forgot about it. The Rust Domination glitch, when you couldn't even get into the game you chose, that was dreadful. The unlimited care package glitches, like there were a couple of those.
And the thing is, it's an unlimited airdrop glitch. That's how you would really make it work. You would get the emergency airdrop, which was like an 8 kill streak, 7 maybe if you used hardline. And then you start calling them in, and I could fucking click those things off so damn fast. I could have dozens of care packages on the map within a minute, like just everywhere, and it completely destroys a game because then all of a sudden it's like I think they took that glitch and like stole game modes from what happened because now we've got all these game modes where there's airdrops and you got to run into resources, etc. And that's what this was. There'd be like chopper gunners and AC-130s in this corner of the map, so everybody was fighting for it.
So where I was headed with this was COD 3 was this forgotten worst ever COD because a new development team came on. Modern Warfare 2, while it wasn't technically a new development team, the staff quit and they couldn't maintain it, and it became a really bad COD title. Now comes, what is it called?
Sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know the company. What is the game called? Do we know?
Advanced Warfare. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Okay. Now comes Advanced Warfare, or Advanced Warfare 1 most likely. I wonder if it's going to suffer from the same problems that Treyarch and Infinity Ward had when they had new staff.
Well, Sledgehammer isn't new to making Call of Duty games. They've been in the background on the last couple, I think, right? Mm-hmm. They've been doing certain parts of them. I'm a coding noob, but they've been working on Call of Duty games. So
yeah, they've been subcontracting kind of for Treyarch and maybe Infinity Ward 2, but definitely they were in Black Ops 1, I think, and so is River something. I forget.
Yeah, Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sledgehammer I think did the entire multiplayer for MW3. I think that was pretty much all them.
Yeah, so I like to imagine that maybe this has been their pet project that they've been subcontracting on Call of Duty games for a while. Now they get to make their baby, and this is it. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know. Looked pretty fucking advanced, although it's called Advanced Warfare. I guess you may get your laser guns this time around. Who knows?
I don't know. It's just because in that I don't know what's multiplayer and what's just the campaign.
Oh, none of what you saw is multiplayer, but right. you can bet that things like that jetpack thing will be used in multiplayer, and also multiplayer map design will be heavily influenced by that as well.
The jetpack was in like 6 scenes. I have to believe that it's part of multiplayer too.
Remember the sticky fingers where you climb the building too?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some wall scaling, or maybe they're trying to mimic.
Is COD still interesting?
No, not really.
I don't know. As a mindless first-person
shooter, I got
to
see the multiplayer before I can judge it. But what I've already seen, I'm not totally really interested in that storyline per se. I'd like to see the multiplayer.
It's funny. I don't want to ruin my feedback Friday, but someone asked me, like, first-person shooters are dead. What's next? Are first-person shooters dead? Because if I hear it, I kind of understand where they're coming from.
I'm not the games that Lefty and I were talking about this earlier. Like the games that I'm pumped about is first and foremost the next rendition of the Fallout series. Then it's probably the next rendition of something like BioShock or there's a couple of like A-rated titles that are
Elder Scrolls and.
So you're the RPS guy or the RTS or role-playing guy.
RPG.
To
I like
me,
RPGs.
what I've been getting into, and I guess it's Minecraft, I'll just say it, is the community-based games. Like when you play factions on WoodyCraft, you get to know the other people. It's, where everybody knows your name. There's trash talking, there's enemies, there's heated rivalries, there's a storyline. It's almost like DayZ, where the same players happened all the time. And that guy's kill on sight. And this guy's your friend and trustworthy. And when you and that guy meet up, then you team up and you're, shoulder-to-shoulder sword fighting for the rest of the afternoon or working a cannon together. And it's, like, the community makes the game better than the game made itself. That, to me, feels like the next frontier. Like, I think that's a really cool thing. Like, compared to what I did in COD, where I just pop in lobbies and there'd be strangers all the time. For the last couple years, I've been playing solo mostly, and that is just, mindless shooter. Everyone calls COD a mindless shooter, and I used to object to it. Like, what? No, the way I play isn't mindless. Like, I'm very much strategic. I got my eye on that mini map. I know where the spawns are coming. I know where the map control is. I'm going towards a win, and oftentimes, even if they're strangers, I'm coordinating a win. Telling people where I need them and what we're pushing for and what the team's objective is. And it might help because I have a grown-up voice, or it might hurt. But they listen. If I tell people, like, hey, look, I'm going for B-Dom, somebody watch the church or something like that, then they do it. And that's how I play COD. It's not a mindless shooter to me. But now it feels like a mindless shooter compared to Minecraft, which is just... I mean, some of the redstone things going on in there, my lord, they're like inventors. And the strategy and the depth and the long-term relationships just make COD seem like an arcade game by comparison.
It is an arcade game. It's an arcade shooter.
But I hear it called that, but it always felt like an insult to me. Zombies feels like an arcade game, right? To me, I get it there. But like, is Battlefield an arcade game? Is CS:GO an arcade game?
No, I don't think so.
I get that COD's quick kill, and I get that a lot of people play it like an arcade game, but I never did. I always was sort of cerebral about how I played the game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm with you there,
and
too.
So were you, right? Yeah, the way you spawn trapped and stuff like that, that's not, Dig Dug,
No, we knew all the spawn points. They were memorized. We knew the exact damages and rates of fires of the weapons, the exact range of a grenade. I know how much damage it does if you hit somebody with a stun grenade. It's 15.
Yep.
We knew every aspect of the game because I loved it. Wanted to be as good at it as was possible.
Yeah, so it was never a mindless shooter to me. It was something that I'd really get into, and my channel got off with gun stats. That was like one of the first videos I ever made, the gun stats and how to use the chart and what it means.
I hated you for that video. I was like, why are you telling these people this? I've been reading that thing for years. I was like, why? Why are you giving this away? This is the knowledge. This is the knowledge of power.
And certain attachments would sometimes impact the gun stats, and that was a really big deal. Or certain gun stats would line up in such a way that, like, if I want to, in Modern Warfare 2 with the FAL, the silencer had no negative impact. Like, you kill in 2 shots either way, silencer or not, so run it. Whereas, like, certain snipers, the silencer, I think it didn't impact, but other ones it did. I forget. So,
Duty 4, if you had a red dot on an AK-47, the long-range damage dropped to 20 rather than 30.
Or the AK-74U had the penetration effect of an assault rifle, not an SMG.
As well as the hip fire of one.
Yes, yeah, which is the trade-off. But just arming yourself with all those stats can make you a better player. And dude, I'm not interested in COD at that level at all now.
No, right? I haven't.
Yeah.
That's a good point, and I've thought about that. I'm like, well, I know I'm not as big of a fan of this game anymore because I couldn't, if I watch someone's video, I'm like, oh, what's that gun? There's so much to know now. First of all, we didn't used to have to know as much. With so many different packages and skins and so many accessories to go on your character and different ways to load them up and combine them, and it's just too much to memorize to that level now. It would just take too much, and it really, in the end, wouldn't matter much because lag would be compensated in an odd way, and despite the fact that you had the best gun for the scenario and you anticipated the guy's move, you still didn't make it. It didn't matter that he had a pistol or whatever. It just happens.
I'm wondering if they're just going to significantly try to change the experience of fast-paced, military-inspired arcade shooter. Because you talk about jetpacks and wall climbing stuff, that could be a significant change to the idea of what Call of Duty is or what it has become on the last generation.
I don't know. We had zip lines and they put ladders everywhere and all kind of ledges for players to sneak around on.
Who played Titanfall?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did. I didn't. It fell off really quick for me.
Yeah,
But it was really the idea of wall running and all that stuff. It was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, all right, I like it.
Why did it fall off so quickly?
I think it was a lack of depth and customization. I think because it's a multiplayer only game, and the single player, well, it had a campaign, but it was shit. There was no input. The campaign was literally just you played. I think there were 6 episodes of each of 2 sides of the campaign, and so you had to play 12 multiplayer matches. That was it. Just 12 multiplayer matches. Doesn't matter win or lose, and that was the campaign. So essentially, no campaign. And when it's a multiplayer game at $60, you want, I mean, you know, everybody rips on Call of Duty Ghosts, but you want to be able to make your first person, the guy you control from a first person perspective, look however you want him to look. And you want to make your gun look however you want it to look. There were 3 sights for assault rifles. That was it. And there was no weapon camo, nothing like that, no customization at all in a $60 game. And people were like, this isn't the industry standard anymore. Like, your physics are cool, and your approach is really cool, and the maps are nice and colorful, and I like it, but what's going to keep me playing?
I thought the way that the maps worked with wall running was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the buildings were obviously spaced out just right. The heights were obviously so perfect. Like, you know, a skilled player could navigate those maps in a way that would really differentiate themselves from a non-skilled player. And I was so psyched about Titanfall, but somehow I just didn't get addicted to it.
You know, and I guarantee you, if they would have made just the Titan aspect, your Titan, it's like a mech game, where there's that level of customization on your Titan. You can make your Titan however you want. You want to be the big bad bruiser, and you can add this, that, the other thing, the power cores or power cells or whatever. And if you were able to do that, and there were the cosmetic changes, guarantee you it would add a lot of depth that people would stick around for, to unlock and make their stuff theirs. Personally, other than that, I don't know, because it was really popular for a while. Like, it was beating Call of Duty when it came out as a first-person shooter.
You're talking about on the Twitch?
Yeah, on Twitch. That's my barometer.
People use Twitch a lot as a barometer. I don't know if it's that accurate, because like, my problem is this: if you look at Twitch right now, you'll say League of Legends, Dota, help me out, World of Warcraft. Minecraft, Hearthstone. Yeah, Minecraft is usually up there in that top like 6 or 5. COD is kind of low unless Nadeshot's streaming, but he's not on Twitch anymore. You know, COD's 15th or something like that. But if you go to YouTube, 1-2 is like COD Minecraft, right?
Is it? I don't know what League of Legends does on YouTube. I've never seen it.
Anything?
I think some games just lend themselves toward streaming and some toward video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know any League of Legends YouTube uploaders like this.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what. We're gonna
wrong.
when we make these civilization videos, we're gonna be some of the few who have that know what they're doing. That not to say there aren't a couple of good ones, but there's a lot of bad ones. I had a hard time finding good tutorials that would teach me anything. Not that we're making a tutorial by any means, but there aren't very many good ones out there.
I'm making a tutorial. I'm kicking ass. I don't know.
And Woody's just completely disinterested now. This is bullshit.
We talked about it way too much.
He just knows that he's going to lose.
Kyle, I want to know that there's a commitment that after we play Civilization that you're not going to get cold feet and stop calling us.
No, I'll play. No. I've got the PC hooked up. I've got my little gaming station slapped together. I'm good to go. I'll play whatever.
All right. Just
but I want to play Civilization, and I'm going to continue to play in my spare time. But I'll play Left 4 Dead or whatever. I don't care.
Left 4 Dead is good. The pacing on it is good. The teamwork is essential.
Mm-hmm.
Left 4 Dead would be a perfect game. Civilizations is also a game.
It's a great game. It's a great game. It is perfectly paced for a nice 3-hour session. Because, you know,
it's like a 13-hour game.
No, it's not a 13-hour game. It's totally not. I'm telling you, I'm going to take your city within 3 hours. That's what I'm telling you. I'm trying to be nice
Can I
about
give it to
I'm going
you
to
now?
destroy you.
Can I? What?
Come get it.
Yeah, Kyle. Just tell me what to name it. We'll set this up in advance. You can have.
You can have all the imaginary gold points and everything.
Yeah. Just.
I can imagine Woody now when he gets ransacked. He's, oh no, I've lost the horror.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I have to stop.
Goodbye. I'm going to
You're just
go
being
do
a poor
other
sport.
things.
That's all there is to it.
God, come from the guy who forfeited.
We got disconnected. I'm
pulled
looking
his
forward to
rubber
playing
out.
in. If either one of you want to play, like I said, I'll be on again sometime late tonight, and I'm going to play for a couple hours at least. I'm sure we could find some game mode that would be like a lightning round or something that will be more conducive for the audience to watch. It's not going to be like a... You and I played for like 3 or 4 hours, I think, at least.
It felt like 6.
And
Go on.
And we never met.
I
We never
know.
met.
That might
That's
be
how
a problem in a YouTube format. That might be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Woody's so turned off to this whole thing. But I'm trying to tell him. But I'll say it again. It's like telling Wings of Redemption something.
Oh,
Like it's not seeping in. Like you're not getting it. We'll find a different mode. You and I will know where each other are within like 20 turns.
I need a
at least.
mode in which I don't wait for you to take your turn.
That's not. It is a turn-based strategy game. It is a core principle to what we're doing.
That I need to turn it around and take 40 minutes a turn. Oh, don't like
The
it,
first
huh?
game we played was my first game ever, and I didn't have my full monitor. I couldn't see everything on the screen, so of course it took me a little bit longer. I was trying to figure out how the game worked. I've played for 24 hours now. I'll make my turns faster, and I'll beat you just as easily.
We need what those,
I
when
just
people play
added
speed chess.
people that are too slow in civilizations to my 1/3 of the population killing list.
Should we wrap the show there?
Yeah, I know Kyle has a hard stop because he had something to go to do.
Yeah, I do. I've got a birthday party to attend.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to whoever it is.
Yes. Happy birthday, dude. All right, Painkiller already, 178. Bye.
Boy!
Later, guys.
Do it again. They've been missing
Boy!
them. All right.